Chapter Why One Hero and the King. Here. It's the local sake of the beauty province. Oh. I never drink that before. I look forward on what it tastes like. Although it's clean, the room has a lot of documents mixed up in it. Thereupon, I pass the sake that I brought as a souvenir to father. Father is a big drinker. Usually when working alone, he drinks sake while working secretly, and it's becoming an open secret. That's why I bring back unusual sake whenever I return. From the standpoint of the king who can't go outside freely, this is a souvenir enough to make my father happy. And it's a custom to have a drinking bout together with the sake. Father, is your work going to be all right? There's no problem. I can just reduce my sleeping time if there's a problem. The time together with my son who returns once in a while is more important than work. I smiled wryly to father's answer. The king's work is not as light as it can be said. Besides, Cyrus have become accustomed to his position. Even if something happens to me by any chance, the country will be peace. Father, I admit that brother is excellent, but this country still needs you. Please don't say such ominous thing. I sigh quietly to father who apologizes lightly. Father took out 2 glasses from the shelf and poured the sake into each glasses. Fumu. An unique smell. Yes. I bought it because I also like the smell. You will surely be pleased by it. A mellow smell fills the room. When our glasses touch, we drink the sake. Umu. The feeling of the sake going down my throat is soft. If it's like this, I can drink as much as I like. It's also popular among the women in the local. I heard that the flavor becomes better if you drink it with fruits. Thus, please have this. I present the prepared fruits. Father puts it into his mouth and drink the sake. Delicious. This is not bad once in a while because I usually drink strong sake. Right. I feel relieved because father is satisfied this time. This time, I wonder whether this sake is suitable or not because father likes to drink strong sake. Apparently, I worried for nothing. We continued to drink the sake for a while. My mouth loosened unintentionally when I recalled the daytime. What's wrong? No, I went to see Sean and Sue during daytime. I just recalled that time. The younger brother and the younger sister who displayed a shocking talent even though I'm the hero. Although I trained with Sean, it's fairly difficult to pretend to be composed. I shouldn't have thought that I should show off by fighting with one hand. Let's use both hands on the next time I train him. Fumu. In Julius's point of view, how are those two? They are both frightening talents. Especially, Sean. If he's born a little more early, the one who holds the hero title might not be me but Sean. Without a word of lie. Actually, Sean and Sue is far higher than me in talents. I'm the superior is because I have the hero title that reinforce my status. If I don't have the hero title, I still won't be defeated, but I will be surpassed soon. No, he has talent to that extent. Perhaps, he can even catch up with me who have the hero title and maybe surpass me. I want to avoid that because my honor as the older brother will collapse. Especially, Sean who seems to respect me. He might not be able to recover from the shock if he know that he's disillusioned. This is a grave situation. I should train over again, so that I won't lose to my younger brother and younger sister. Let's do so. What are you agreeing alone? I can't say it, it's not easy to keep the older brother's dignity. Come to think of it, Sean also seems to try to keep his dignity to Sue. That succeeded. Sue is actually clinging to Sean and she's even jealous of me. Although she will part with her older brother once she reaches the appropriate age, she is very cute that she becomes angry whenever her loved older brother was taken away. I did a terrible thing on them. Bitterness floats on father's face. Both of them are born immediately after the death of the previous Hiro-sama. I succeeded the hero title at the same time. The previous Hiro-sama, which no one knows his whereabouts and his activity was a mystery, suddenly dies. I became the new hero. The increase of the demon's movement suddenly. Those come in succession, so father didn't have the time to accompany those two. Although father is a person who values family, before that, he is the king. It's necessary to give priorities to the country. Father worries about that. It can't be helped. At that time, various things come in succession, so there's nothing that can be done. However, those two have never hugged me once. I think that's the precise answer. It's all right. Those two will surely understand once time passed. I hope so. Father drinks the sake with a sad face. To be honest, there are times when I'm irritated by this position as the king. Not only those two. Julius, it's the same for you. I don't want you who's my son to shoulder such important title called hero. However, as a king, I have no choice but to tell you to go. Although it might be correct as the king, I'm disqualified as a father. Father spits out his accumulated feelings together with a really heavy sigh. Father. I'm proud of being the hero. Therefore, please don't say that in such manner. In the first place, if you take away the hero from me, nothing will remain in me. That's not true. No, I don't have the knowledge to be related to the politics like brother. I don't have the belief that pierce myself like Leston, and I can't marry into a family like sister. Speaking of what I can do, I can only swing my sword as the hero for the people. Therefore, there's no need to worry about it. Because I'm doing the best I can do for myself. Leston is just living his life on his own way. Sure is. Both of us leaked a smile. Father, you are a very great father from my point of view. Therefore, I will keep working as the hero to become father's help. Chapter 71 Leveling. I raised my skill level. No, these must be raised. It's since my first home that I settled down to raise level, but that time I only raised spider thread. Or rather, I didn't know what's a skill. The number of skills have increased since then, and above all, appraisal summa's level skyrocketed. Well, that's possible to do efficient leveling. Besides, I see the skill list and select skills that can be acquired, and took actions that seem to increase the skill proficiency. As a result, a considerable amount of skills were acquired. Appraisal summa is really excellent. Aiming for skills that can be acquired, what a cheat. Next, for securing food, I have set up some traps. Although it's a simple trap that's only sticking the adhesion threads on the floor, if a monster passes there, it will get stuck to it. I left it as it is, and went to see it after a while. As a result, a monster was caught. It was a weak monster, so I kill it as it is. That time, the poison thread comes to light finally. Giving poison to my threads and surpassing severing thread, my greatest weapon. By only wrapping this around the opponent's body, damage is dealt slowly by the poison. This is amazing. Seriously amazing. Even though it's amazing, I don't know whether it has its turn in the middle layer or not. What an absurd thing. And I level up that time. Don't say how there. Because I said what? After all, it's just a small fry. Isn't weird that I leveled up? That was surprising. This might also be the effect of pride. Leveled just by killing one small fry, what a high effect. After that, monsters got caught in my trap. Thanks to that, I won't run out of food and my stamina won't decrease. There were some monsters that managed to escape from my trap sometimes, but it's fine. I don't want to fight with a strong monster that can escape from my adhesion threads. Thanks to that, only safe monsters remained in the trap, and I was able to kill them pleasantly. The level also rose considerably, so I was all smiles. After this and that, this is my current status. Small poison Terratect LV5 no name. Status. HP 83/83 green. MP 181/181 blue. SP 82/82 yellow. 82/82 red. Average offensive ability 9-2. Average defensive ability 9-2. Average magic ability 135. Average resistance ability 168. Average speed ability 830. Skill. Automatic HP recovery LV5 MP recovery speed LV3 MP consumption down LV2 SP recovery speed LV2 SP consumption down LV2 enhanced destruction LV1 enhanced slashing LV1 enhanced poison LV2 fighting spirit LV1 vitality granting LV2 deadly poison attack LV3 poison synthesis LV7 thread talent LV3 spider thread LV9 severing thread LV6 thread manipulation LV8 throw LV6 3D maneuver LV3 concentration LV9 prediction LV8 parallel thought LV4 calculation processing LV6 accuracy LV7 evasion LV3 appraisal LV8 detection LV6 stealth LV7 hell heresy magic LV3 shadow magic LV2 poison magic LV2 abyss magic LV10 pride overeating LV7 night vision LV10 visible range expansion LV2 destruction resistance LV1 blow resistance LV2 slash resistance LV3 fire resistance LV1 deadly poison resistance LV2 paralysis resistance LV3 petrifaction resistance LV3 acid resistance LV4 corrosion resistance LV3 faint resistance LV2 fear resistance LV6 heresy resistance LV3 pain nullity pain alleviation LV7 enhanced vision LV8 enhanced hearing LV8 enhanced smell LV7 enhanced taste LV4 Enhanced Touch, LV6 Life, LV7 Magic Amount, LV8 Agility, LV7 Endurance, LV7 Herculean Strength, LV3 Solid, LV3 Protection, LV3 Idodin, LV3 Taboo, LV4 and percent I equals W. Skill points 180. I surely have became stronger. Really? With this status, won't I be able to fight with a monster of the upper layer? Although it's something that I understood from the status, apparently each ability can increase even without level up. Although I did some running to raise the skill level, thanks to that, the status rise too. It seems that it's the same as my former world, that training makes a person stronger. This one here is much easier to understand the growth of the status. As for the status increase by level up, it increased twice of the previous one. You might not know what I'm saying, but I also don't know what's done on me. No, it's the effect of pride. The speed increased by 42 when I leveled up once. That's surprising. Apparently, the growth corrections of pride doubles the growth corrections of the other skills. Pride, what an amazing skill. Skill level also raised a lot. And, look at all of the poison-related skills. Yes, did you saw that poison attack has become deadly poison attack and poison resistance has become deadly poison resistance? This, when the skills reach level 10, they evolve. I'm amazed that skills have evolution. The effects are the upgraded version of the previous one. It seems to become my main weapon in the middle layer, so the skill evolved here contributes a lot. Why did poison resistance rose? It's because I whipped myself with poison threat. After all, the skill level won't increase if I don't do it. If it's for skill level, I will somewhat endure the pain. Everyone will do it. Even I did it. Only I will do it. There's no such thing. Probably. Chapter 72 Leveling Result. In the poison connection, poison synthesis also rose considerably. Poison synthesis becomes level 7, and the kind that can be created and customizable field increases. Poison synthesis menu. Weak poison, medium poison, strong poison, deadly spider poison LV3. Damage adjustment, duration adjustment, contact damage adjustment, synthesis amount adjustment. According to the level of poison attack, the spider poison changed into deadly spider poison. Although medium poison and strong poison are added, it's only stronger than the weak poison. But still, the effect of deadly spider poison is way higher. Unfortunately, only the deadly spider poison will be used in combat. And about the newly added customize function, the contact damage adjustment is just as its name that it can adjust the damage dealt by touching it. The damage adjustment adjusts the damage of the poison that's injected into the body, while this one adjusts the damage on the outside. Because the deadly spider poison exceeded the limit that can be adjusted in both damage adjustment, there's no need to adjust it. Although the synthesis amount adjustment is just as its name that it can change the amount that can be synthesized all at once, the MP consumption increases when the synthesis amount increases. When I was leveling, it can be done instantly and it's convenient. If I don't make a mistake in using it, then I can torment my opponent with a large amount of poison. Sink in the poison swamp. Saying something like that while dropping a large amount of poison down. Skills other than the poison related also rose considerably. I succeeded in acquiring the MP and SP related skills. As for MP, it were recovery speed and consumption down. The effects are just as the name, increase the natural recovery speed and decrease the amount consumed. SP is also the same, recovery speed and consumption down. However, the recovery speed only applies to the yellow stamina gauge, but the consumption down applies to both yellow and red. When I sprint with all my power, the decrease of my yellow and red stamina gauge becomes slower. Because the red one doesn't decrease by the effect of overeating, a thing was understood from Appraisalsama's result. Enhanced Destruction is a considerably cheating skill. The effect is that there's a damage correction when destroying something. Creature is also included in the something. In other words, the attack is strengthened wholly. The resistance corresponding to this is destruction resistance. Just because both skills are scary, I thought that it's better if I acquire them. Enhanced Slashing and Enhanced Poison strengthen the attack of their own attribute. Severing Thread and Poison are simply enhanced. Fighting Spirit is an unusual skill that consumes the red SP to increase physical ability status. This is the so-called boost skill, but the red stamina gauge is considerably consumed. The red stamina is my lifeline, so I don't want to use it so much. And the consumption is not too good, so it would be better to not use it unless I'm greatly cornered. Vitality Granting is a similar skill to Fighting Spirit, but the target it can enhance is an object. If I were to use it, it would be the threads. However, it doesn't seem that I will use this. Much because of the same reason as fighting spirit. The best from thread-related skills that I have acquired is thread talent. This is a convenient that gives a bonus correction to the whole thread when I use it. Things like the power of the thread and the maneuverability of the thread rows. Even though it's simply a positive effect, it does its work properly. Throw and accuracy also rose plainly. As for the 3D maneuver, I never did anything special, but when I keep going down and up from the home and the ground, the level rose strangely. Neither parallel thought nor calculation processing rose that much. Well, this can't be helped. Let's wait for it to rise slowly. But on the other hand, concentration and prediction rose considerably. Prediction is trivial, but concentration is now at level 9 and it's just a little more to reach level 10. When thinking about the tendency up until now, when reaching level 10, either the skill will evolve or the skill will derive a new skill. Concentration is quite useful, so I look forward for its evolution or its derived skill. There's no change in the magic-related skill. The resistance too, I encourage myself depending on the circumstances to acquire destruction resistance, blow resistance and slash resistance. And I also finally acquired fire resistance. After doing all those things until now, it's finally level 1. The HP recovery speed doesn't increase easily either, so the prospect might be too good. All of the 5 senses were raised. I also acquired the enhanced taste just in case. As expected, it's useless as long as I'm in this labyrinth. Status-related skills also rose. As a result of using poison on myself, I acquired protection that raised the resistance status. And the resistance status increased considerably when poison resistance became deadly poison resistance. Although I don't know what relation does it has, it might increase when resistance is increased. The skills that I had a hard time in the status-related skill were Idaten, Herculean Strength and Solid. It doesn't rise easily. I ran a lot and finally Idaten rose by 1 level. Compared with the other status-strengthening skills, I understand that these 3 are way harder to raise. Well, considering that they're high effects and being high-rank skills, it's natural. Now that it's understood that there's skill evolution, perhaps, the other status-strengthening skills will evolve if they reach level 10. In that case, I want to evolve it quick. The regrettable one is that appraisal summa's levels still haven't rise. I think that only a little of skill proficiency is gained recently because my range of action is limited. Then, it might be good to start capturing the middle layer soon. For the time being, it's possible to offset the terrain damage. I have confirmed it when I go near the magma once. But it's only offsetting it. If my HP decreases by other factors, my only way to recover is by level up. If I think about safety, I should raise more of my skills, but I want to accumulate appraisal summa's skill proficiency. I'm troubled. Chapter 73 Death Flag Suddenly. That's right, let's go to the middle layer. Make hay while the sun shines. If it's my current speed, it's likely that I will be able to run away from most enemies, and up until now, I have acted while carrying death wounds. Nothing can be done if I'm scared of wounds. I depend too much on recovery. I know it well. Usually, it's better to raise the level a little more properly, but I think that I should get away from here quick. I'm feeling somewhat uneasy. Thus, let's leave the 4th home after today. Goodbye, my 4th home. I'm indebted to you. Stay healthy. In the next moment, my 4th home bursts and scatters. It was blown off. I rolled and stopped near the center of the slope. My HP has decreased slightly. It became like this because I was at the outside, but what if I'm inside the home? I see the person who caused this disastrous scene. Earth Dragon Kaguna LV26. HP 4198/4198 green. MP 3339/3654 blue. SP 2798/2798 yellow. 2995/3112 red. Fail to appraise its status. That's a dragon. Compared with the Earth Dragon Alaba, it gives an impression of short and stout. That being the case, the power looks strong. There are no wings. I run at full speed towards the top of the slope. I keep on running even after I cross the top of the slope. My yellow stamina gauge is exhausted, but still, my legs will not stop. My legs that exceeded its limit screams. It's painful. But my legs will not stop. Avoiding the magma, and I run at full speed on the small land. Skill proficiency reached. Skill SP consumption down LV2 has become SP consumption down LV3. Skill proficiency reached. Skill fear resistance LV6 has become fear resistance LV7. Skill proficiency reached. Skill agility LV7 has become agility LV8. Skill proficiency reached. Skill endurance LV7 has become endurance LV8. I wonder how far did I ran, and as expected, my leg stopped after reaching its limit. Although I have the urge to fall down, I strain my willpower and look back. The earth dragon didn't chase after me. I was saved. I sink down to the floor after confirming that there's no monster in the surroundings. Ah. Naiwa. An attack from the earth dragon without any advance warnings, seriously Naiwa? I thought I was gonna die. No, actually, if I ran a little later, then I might have died. That uneasy feeling was this. However, what's that? Is it a rule that the earth dragon have to use the breath whenever it sees a cobweb? What's that? Scary. Is the lower layer the den of the earth dragons? What's that? Scary. No. As expected, there shouldn't be a place where those guys are all over the place. I recalled the status that was managed to be appraised. All of them were 4 digits. It's strange, right? There's no way I can win. And what's more is that even after it destroyed my home, it still has a lot of MP and SP. In other words, that attack is not one shot at a time, but it can be fired in rapid succession. Impossible. What's with that monster? Earth dragon, scary. Nevertheless, that earth dragon seems to be a different kind from the previously seen earth dragon Alaba. Although its level is lower than the earth dragon Alaba, I don't know which one is stronger because I can't appraise Alaba. But, either way, it doesn't change the fact that I can't win against them. Are Alaba and Keguna somehow related to the earth dragon? Something like it's the same kind but different branch of evolution. Ah, that's possible. Dragons are the symbol of the high-rank species, so it's not strange that it has many evolution line. Or, the earth dragon exists only one of a kind respectively? That's also possible. Although there's not much of it because it's a high-rank species, each individual is very powerful. It's alright to say that status is very powerful. If that's the case, the probability to encounter it is low. No, wait a second. In that case, it would mean that I was attacked twice by the earth dragon that has a low probability to encounter. Isn't my luck very bad? It shouldn't be like. That. Although I have experienced a lot of near-death experiences, I always ended up surviving, so my luck should be good. But in the first place, will a person with good luck experience near-death experiences several times? This is not good. I should not think any further. It's really a paper-thin difference. Thank God that I didn't thought of leveling more. Bad luck still haven't abandoned me. Let's decide it to be like that. Someone please say so. Skill proficiency reached. Skill prediction LV8 has become prediction LV9. I never asked you. What's with that perfect timing? Waiting to retort. Voice of heaven sure have the talents of a comedian. Phew. I got agitated for a moment just because of a foolish thing. Although it's the worst start, let's start capturing the middle layer little by little. I want to part from the earth dragon as soon as possible. Chapter 74 Middle Layer Capture starts. Well, let's confirm the current state for the time being. Now, I'm right in the center of the boiling magma. The ratio of the land and the magma is roughly the same. Although I came here naturally, is this the right path? Well, I don't know whether it's right or not, so I have no choice but to just advance. The results of the aftermath of the earth dragon's attack and running even after exceeding my limits, my HP decreases a little. As the decrease is not a big deal, but in this scorching area where I will keep on receiving damage, I can't expect from the recovery because the automatic recovery offsets with damage. In order to recover, I can either recover by level up or raise the skill level of automatic HP recovery or fire resistance to break the balance of the recovery and damage. However, in the worst case, the damage might become bigger because the magma is just nearby. I would like to avoid hotter places as much as possible, but what will it becomes? Judging from the upper layer and the lower layer so far, it's better to think that this middle layer is considerably wide. After all, it's the world's largest labyrinth. It's to the extent that it connects 2 continents, so I should be resolute that it might take many days to escape from the middle layer. Even though it's still long ahead, I'm already depressed at the start. A bad omen. Yosh, then, let's go. However, it's hot. Because I lived in a comfortable temperature since I was reborn into a spider. When the environment changes suddenly, I'm becoming heavy. Because I have came here occasionally to raise the skill level of fire resistance, it's not that I can't endure the heat. But still, when thinking that this state continues until I escape from the middle layer as expected, I will be tired. Especially, my legs. This is a place where magma flows in the vicinity, you know. It's obvious that the ground is hot. This is already not like being affected by the summer's heat. If an egg is cracked here, it will get burned rather than becoming a fried egg. And I need to move in this area barefooted. Hot, or perhaps I should say it already go beyond pain. I can't continue if I don't have pain alleviation and automatic HP recovery. Oh, found a monster. Elro Generush LV5. Status. HP 159/159 green. MP 145/148 blue. SP 145/145 yellow. 116/145 red. Fail to appraise its status. That's the first monster I saw after arriving at the middle layer. It's the guy that looks like a seahorse. It's swimming in the magma calmly just like the first day. Naiwa. It doesn't seem that I'm noticed, so I want to pass through it like this, but that guy is there in the traveling direction. What should I do? Here, let's battle once. I want to experiment to what degree my threads can be used in the middle layer, and if it's the status of the previously seen monster, I think I can win even if I fight it directly. It's convenient as the opponent, and at present, there are no monsters around here. Let's go. It seems that the other side haven't noticed me yet. So let's get a preemptive attack without reservation. Thus, come on, severing thread. The thread is extended and I swing it sideways. I swing the thread aiming at the seahorse's neck, but the thread burnt out as it is on top of the magma. Because it will be troublesome if I catch a fire here, I detach the remaining thread from my body. It's no good. It burnt even though it didn't touch the magma directly. Does this means that my thread is useless in the middle layer? Seriously. My strongest weapon is sealed. It was a shock even though I expected it. And something is flying towards here. It's a fireball. It's painful if it hits, with that size, won't I be burnt? Sui. I avoid it. Of course I will avoid it. A second one is coming. Sui. The seahorse is spitting out fireballs from within the magma. At that level of speed, it won't hit me. Although I can't avoid the frog's saliva attack long ago, now, I'm much more stronger than that time because my speed has increased and I have the evasion skill. Now, I have the godly evasion ability that can't be outdone by my game character. Even if I'm paper armored, it's not a big deal if it doesn't hit. However, this is bad. Both of us don't have the winning move. The other side's fireball can't hit me. But since I can't use my threads, I have no way to attack it. Both are deadlock. No, that guy's MP is going to be exhausted. That fireball seems to consume MP. That means, fireballs won't fly here anymore once its MP is exhausted. Appraisal Sama is really a cheat. The opponent's information can be known while fighting. Yosh, I avoid the last fireball. With this, that guy no longer has MP. The next move that guy makes will change the outcome of this battle. But what will it do? It crept out from the magma. It rushes as it is. Stupid. If it's me, I will do a strategic withdrawal when my MP is exhausted. I avoided the rush with composure as it looks slow for me. I cling on the seahorse's back and stab my claw using poison attack. This guy's body is hot. My HP has decreased. My valuable HP. For the time being, the seahorse that got affected by the deadly poison died easily. I managed to win my first match. However, the greatest enemy in this middle layer might be the terrain. Chapter 75. It's good to do my part by myself, but there are times you feel frustrated when it's done by someone else, right? I avoid the flying fireball. 2. Well, even if it's 2, I can avoid it easily now. I turn my line of sight towards the other side and there are 2 seahorses. It looks like this area is full of seahorses. Although each one of them wander around in their own way, when they get together by chance in this way, they will attack at the same time. Well, it doesn't attack in crowds like the monkeys, so it's good that it's easy. I avoid the flying fireball again. Their cooperation is not that good because they usually live individually. They shoot the fireball individually as they like. It's not like their fireball can hit me even if they cooperate though. However, It's troublesome. Staying inside the magma, that's cheating. They use long-distance attack, taking advantage of the fact that I can't do anything. Can't you fight fairly? Don't you think that it's unfair? Don't you have pride? A boomerang. I don't understand. What are you saying? I don't understand. I never did anything unfair before, you know. I never shut myself in the nest and launch one-sided attacks before, you know. Look, I'm a girl of great rectitude. Right? Come on, say that it is. But these guys don't shut themselves completely like me. One of their MP is going to be exhausted soon. Look, it's here. I don't know why the seahorse won't retreat. It faces me by all means. Although they don't escape to the Emperor, are these guys the Emperor's pedigree? Come to think of it, these guys look like the dragon. Well, it comes out from the magma after its MP is exhausted. After that, it's my turn. I quickly kill it with my claw that is clad in poison. Because the second one came out from the magma conveniently, I kill it in the same way. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small poison Terratect LV5 has become LV6. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill enhanced poison LV2 has become enhanced poison LV3. Skill proficiency reached. Skill evasion LV3 has become evasion LV4. Skill points gained. Oh. Level up. My HP decreased plainly, so it's grateful. My decreased HP recovered after shedding my skin. Although I can win against the seahorse easily, I will receive damage when I touch its body. It's not a big deal if it's only one, but when the damage accumulates, the damage will become larger. In the current situation where I have no way to recover except by level up, I don't want to receive even a little damage. By the way, when I want to eat, it can be cooled if I just leave it for a while, and I will eat it after it's cooled. Although I hope that either fire resistance or automatic HP recovery to rise in this level up, the world is not that easy. Fire resistance stays at level 1 and automatic HP recovery also stays as it is. It can't be helped that fire resistance doesn't rise. It looks like my species is weak to fire in any way, and it can't be overcome in a day. Automatic HP recovery is a convenient skill, but its level raising is quite slow. Well, in the game, the automatic recovery skill is usually a skill obtained near endgame. And, to acquire this skill naturally without using skill points and hoping it to grow faster from there as expected, it's quite greedy. It's a gain by just having it. Actually, I don't think that I will break through the middle layer if I don't have automatic HP recovery. After all, it's impossible. It's like committing suicide if I enter this area that continues to deal damage without automatic recovery. I don't have a hobby like committing suicide, and in that case, I would probably search for a pit in the lower layer. In the lower layer where that earth dragon lives. Ah, there's a seahorse again. I will be found if I advance like this. I can run away if I want, but that's. Should I try throwing a stone like the monkey? I think it's better than doing nothing. Although I can't hold a stone with the spider's body, I can stick a thread and throw it. Let's experiment it at once. First, I need to find a handy stone. There's a lot of stones of the suitable size everywhere. I hold it with the thread. Swing. Soya. Oh, it hits. Is it thanks to throw and accuracy? But its HP didn't decrease much. Ah, the fireball of counterattack came. Afterwards. After we throw stones and fireballs at each other, the seahorse's MP got exhausted and it became a land battle in the end. Although it's better than doing nothing, it doesn't change much even if I do it. Well, if it's only one, throwing stones might be acceptable. The skill level of throw and accuracy will rise, so it's not pointless. However, it would be better to concentrate avoiding if there are two or more of them. It won't be a joke if I got hit by the fireball. Chapter Side Story 11 Elf Girl. I was called by father. And in addition to that, it's Katya and me. Without knowing what's the matter, both of us tilt our head to the side. Is this possibly an engagement? Ha! Who's? You and me. I can't think of a word after hearing Katya's astounding words. No, that's impossible. Well, it's impossible for us. But, what about the people of the surroundings? We are man and woman of the same age who are in a good family. Furthermore, our relationship is also good. Then, it's not strange even if it's a discussion of getting engaged before it's too late. When it's said like that, it might be possible. I'm one of the royal family, and Katya is the daughter of the duke's house that has a history. We go well together. But, are you okay with it? Like I'm fine with it. I can't even imagine getting married with a man. But, it's likely to happen sooner or later, so don't you think that we should be prepared for this? I never thought that you will think about it. That's rude. But, you being the fiancé is way better than someone I don't know. You know my circumstances, and when the time comes, we can just show a bad appearance and we can cancel the engagement in mutual agreement. There's such a move too. Fiancé, although I have never thought of that so far, I'm one of the royal family, so it's not weird even if such discussion comes. If that's the case, then it might be convenient if Katya becomes my fiancé that both of us are not conscious of it. However, excluding one point. And, what will you do about Sue? Ah. Right. My younger sister, Sue doesn't allow anyone to approach me. Recently, she allows Katya a little, but I don't know what will happen when it becomes an engagement. Then, I might get killed by that girl. As expected, that's an exaggeration. I think it's possible. Although Sue is raised like that, she's not to that extent. Meanwhile, a man and a small girl enter the waiting room. Katya and I look at the two who entered the room and our mouth opened wide. The ear of the two who entered the room were longer than human's ear. Nice to meet you. This occasion, I came to this country as the goodwill ambassador of the elf named Potamus Hyphenoth. I'm the one who called both of you. Hereafter, at your own discretion. That man, Potamus of the elf, introduced in an indifferent tone. It's my first time to meet an elf. Although I know that there's elf in this world, when seeing the real thing, the real feeling that this is a different world surges. Fumu. You have it. Potamus closed his eyes partly together with an uncomfortable feeling. Oka, these two have it. The rest is all yours. Hi. I understand. Then, I will take my leave. I appreciate your efforts. Potamus goes out of the room quickly. Katya and I who were left behind can only be dumbfounded. Without even the time for us to introduce ourselves, he left just like that. Without understanding what to do, I look at the small girl. Fumu. Then, I will introduce myself. My name now is Furimes Hyphenoth. Please take care of me from now on. Katya and I look at each other. Even if such a small girl introduces herself, we don't know what to do afterwards. I think that it's a manner to introduce yourself if the teacher introduce herself. How about it? I'm sorry. I'm the fourth prince of this country, Sharainzagan Anarek. I'm the eldest daughter of the Anabold Duke's house, Karnadaya Sari Anabold. We introduce ourselves because we were prompted by the girl. On. Prince Sama and Duke Sama. That's nice. Muaro minus. I stiffen by that word. From a while ago, this girl unusual speaking way, and that speech and behavior is similar to a person I know. Katya also seems to be the same as her eyes are opened wide. Oka-chan. You shouldn't attach Chan to a teacher's name, you know. But, you're right. The girl in front of us was our class teacher in the previous life, Oka-chan aka Okazaki Kanami-sensei. This teacher who's called by the nickname of Oka-chan was quite a regrettable person. When she was a student, she imitated the tone of a character from the manga she likes, and it became her normal tone. She enters a university and majors in history just because of the Sengoku manga. She became a teacher after drafting the reverse Genji plan. She was a quite regrettable teacher. However, that regrettable part is greatly received by the students, and she was popular. So, why is Sensei here? That's because I know that both of you are here. It became quite a news, you know. Few outrageous geniuses were born in Anarek. We who met our teacher after a long time, speak in Japanese. We already told her our previous life's name. The moment she heard Katya's name, her eyes opened wide, but in the next moment, she spat her muru. You came to meet us specially? That's not the only purpose. Even though I may appear this way, Sensei is a teacher. After all, I think that I must confirm my students' safety. Well, the point where we reborn, there's no safety on it. Although Sensei says it jokingly, I think that the will is splendid. I never took consideration on anything other than trying to live in this world. I never think of searching for my other classmates. This world is dangerous, unlike Japan. It's better if I do it quickly so that I can protect you all. I also have never thought about that. There are monsters in this world, if I think about it, it's natural, and yet because I'm safe, I think that my classmates are also safe. Then, will Sensei protect us? No. I can't take you along because both of your position doesn't allows me. Normally, the person must wish for it by himself to be protected in the village of Elf. That means, some of them are found. Hi. 12 people in the village of Elf, and the other students that we were able to contact, adding you to, it will be 5 people. The whereabouts of another 2 people were confirmed, so I'm going to meet them later. There were 25 students in our class. That means, there are only 6 people that their whereabouts are not confirmed. But, on the contrary, there might be no whereabouts of the another 6 people. Finding only 6 students in this huge world must be considerably difficult. Sensei, you go so far to do that just for us. It's my responsibility as the teacher. Besides, most of students are found as a human race in the human race territory. It's not that difficult as said. But still, it's obvious that Sensei have put much efforts in it. I bow once again to Sensei. Well, although it's another story, Sensei is going to enroll the school in this country soon. At that time, let's have a detailed talk again. Katia and I also will go to the school soon. My new life has approached close by. Chapter 76. Let's become even hotter. The middle layer capture is going well. Although I met with several kinds of monsters other than the seahorse, all of them are not a big deal. If only that there's no disadvantage in the terrain, I don't think I can lose. However, the disadvantage in the terrain is a problem. First of all, magma. This is hard. When the other party is in the magma, I can't do anything but throwing stones from here. It won't deal a great damage even if I throw a stone. After all, if the other party doesn't go up ashore, I can't do anything from here. It's good if it comes up when its MP is exhausted like the seahorse, but it's troublesome that there are some monsters that stay inside the magma and some monsters that run away. There's also a guy who starts on the land and once it gets cornered, it runs into the magma. It's also hard that thread can't be used. Although it can be used to throw stones, it will catch a fire on the land if I keep releasing it. I'm troubled about the threads that I release unconsciously. When I move, I will release threads unconsciously, but if I release it here, it will burn. Having burnt, it moves like a fuse and my buttocks will become hot. At first, I panicked when my buttocks caught a fire. My HP decreased considerably because of that. My HP decreased further because I used poison synthesis to extinguish the fire. After all, that's the only thing I have that can extinguish the fire. Because it can't be helped, I cut the threads frequently. If I don't do that, my buttocks will catch a fire again. It's not a metaphor. The bed is also a problem. If I make a nest in such state, the nest will be burnt. I have to give up on it because it can't be helped, so I decided to sleep in the shadow of the rock. Well, there's no way I can sleep. I have to sleep in this continuous damaged terrain while being afraid of the monster's presence. No matter how bold my nerve is, there's still a limit. But still, I must sleep. Although it can't be helped that I didn't sleep much, I make sure to sleep when I found a suitable rock. Well, although the surroundings is more worse than the lower layer, the sole reason I survived is that the monsters are weak. There's no great difference in strength if I were to compare the monsters here with the monsters in the upper layer. There might be strong monsters in the area like the snake, but up until now I have only encountered weak monsters. The difference with the monsters in the upper layer is whether they use the terrain or not. Because of this, the monsters that are not very strong become troublesome existence. Really, it's good that I do my part by myself, but when it's done by the opponent, it's a troublesome thing. Well, the number is large, but it's possible to do it. As the result of training for leveling, I have become stronger. If it's an opponent of this level, it's possible to win even if I think about the disadvantage in the terrain. However, as long as the recovery means are few, it will be a pinch even if I receive only one attack, so I must be on guard. Besides, the monsters here have another troublesome property. 3 monsters appear in front of me. Elro Peak LV8. Status: HP 164/164 green. MP 166/168 blue. SP 175/175 yellow. 176/181 red. Average offensive ability 137. Average defensive ability 123. Average magic ability 121. Average resistance ability 117. Average speed ability 143. Fail to appraise its status. Elro Peak LV8. Status: HP 163/163 green. MP 169/170 blue. SP 174/174 yellow. 170/183 red. Fail to appraise its status. Elro. Peak LV8. Status. HP 166/166 green. MP 169/169 blue. SP 177/177 yellow. 178/182 red. Fail to appraise its status. This guy is a monster that have the appearance of a red dog. Although it has a relatively cute appearance, this guy's ability is relatively nasty. Especially, the compatibility with me is bad. First of all, its nose is good. It's a dog after all. My stealth is easily seen through and it attacks me. Because of that, I can't do the usual surprise attack. Well, it never succeeded much after I enter the middle layer, so this is irrelevant. And next is this. The red dog's body is covered with fire. Right, this red dog, fire is clad in its body. It's hard to interfere it from here when it's in fire. I will receive damage just by touching it directly. This is the troublesome characteristic of the monsters in this middle layer. The body is hot overall. There's guy that can sets fire on its body like the red dog, and even those that don't do it is also considerably hot. The seahorse is also the same. And when I touch them directly, I will receive damage. I endured it when it's the seahorse, but as expected, the amount of damage won't be a joke if I do it against opponents that can ignite themselves like the red dog. So, I took certain countermeasures. I avoid the red dog's attack. Although these guys' speed are so-so, still, it's slower than me. It's easy to avoid. After avoiding the second one, I avoid the third one by jumping. And then, when the overhead of a red dog is going to pass under me, I activate poison synthesis. The red dog bay directly in a powerful venom falls by momentum. Although my poison is strong, the monsters here probably don't have poison resistance. That's why it can be defeated easily if I pour poison on it. Because I don't need to touch the opponent, I don't receive any damage. I visited the remaining pitiful red dogs with venom. Chapter 77 Unlucky 7. I can feel something unpleasant. Because the seahorse is a dragon. Dragon, a kind of monster called as the lower rank dragon species. Although it's a lower rank, there's also one that's equal to the dragon species. On. The lower rank monster that belongs to the earth dragon. Will it become a fire dragon? The earth dragon exists, so the fire dragon might exist. It's not in this middle layer, right? Let's pray that it's not here. Well then, although my thoughts have gone into escapism feeling for a moment, let's think seriously on what to do about this problem in front of me. Elro Geniseven LV7. Status. HP 461/461 green. MP 223/223 blue. SP 218/218 yellow. 451/466 red. Average offensive ability 368. Average defensive ability 311. Average magic ability 161. Average resistance ability 158. Average speed ability 155. Fail to appraise its status. Elro Geniseven, the lower rank monster who belongs to the dragon that inhabits in the Elro Great Labyrinth middle layer. Omnivorous, and it can swallow anything with its big mouth. That monster is swimming slowly in the magma. Even though it's called as the lower rank dragon, its appearance looks like a catfish. In addition, the 7 in the name doesn't suits it. It's no use even if I complain about this world's naming sense. Its characteristic is the big mouth like the catfish after all. I don't want to be swallowed by that, and if it's my size, it seems to be able to swallow me completely. Having succeeded in appraising the status contributes a lot. The probability that the status appraisal succeeds is roughly once every 3 times. It's lucky that it succeeded by 1 time. Attacking the catfish without knowing its status is too dangerous. In this middle layer, most monsters are weak, but this catfish is way stronger than the others. If possible, I want to pass through it. But the catfish is swimming near the path that I'm using. When thinking about the tendency up until now, the probability that it will attack is high. On. What should I do? No, I think I can run away with my speed if I thought of it, but it's troublesome if it chase after me with its excessively high red stamina gauge. Even though the yellow gauge is little, still, it a few times more than me. Above all, I can't see until its skill. If that catfish have SP consumption down at a high level, then I might not be able to run away from it. Well, I think that it doesn't have it. It's a little strong to fight. Then, as expected, should I run away? I shouldn't challenge the impossible. Although recently, my condition is improving, being carried away at such time will only experience pain. I have already learned my lesson. I must not get carried away. I must be modest. Thus, let's begin moving. I will escape with all my power when I'm found. Then, another catfish came up from the bottom of the nearby magma. Ha! Oi! That's not what was said before. I'm at a pinch even though I never get carried away. The catfish matches its eyes to me, and after it looked blankly for a moment, it opened its big mouth. Back step. The catfish closes its mouth at the place where I was. The catfish goes up to the land sluggishly as it is. This guy, although I didn't notice it when it's in the magma, it has limbs. Besides, its whole body is covered with dragon-like scales. Indeed, the defensive ability is high. Let's escape. When I look at my escaping route, the catfish that I saw before crawled up to the land. It's impossible to run because from my position, I will get attacked on both sides. What should I do? If it's like this, then I will defeat the catfish in front of me immediately. Poison thread is wrapped around the catfish's body. Although it will burn at once, I just need the poison to enter it even a little. The thread that burns at once just as I thought. In order to confirm the effect of the poison, I see the catfish's HP. It decreases a little. It looks like poison is effective. Then, I must somehow administer poison. The catfish opens its mouth wide. It rushes as it is. Nuwu. Minus. Scary. But, I attract it to the very limit intentionally. When the big mouth reaches just in front of me, poison synthesis activate. I withdraw by a paper-thin difference. The catfish swallows the synthesized deadly spider poison instead of me. In an instant, the catfish's HP begins to decrease at an incredible rate. The speed of the decrease is incredible. Besides, the catfish writhes painfully. Oh, my poison has become this powerful. And, the other one. When turning my gaze, the another catfish feels a little frightened after looking at its comrade's disastrous scene. Oh. Well, seeing your comrade to suffer this much, of course you will think that this is dangerous. I thought that the dragons don't escape, but it was the seahorse only. The healthy catfish turned back and escaped as it is. Seriously. At first, I'm the one who thought of escaping though. I never thought that the other side will escape. Isn't it okay even if I get carried away? Aren't I considerably strong? For the time being, I will kill the suffering catfish. I use poison synthesis towards the face of the catfish. The twitching catfish's movement stopped. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small poison Terratect LV6 has become LV7. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill concentration LV9 has become concentration LV10. Conditions met. Skill thought acceleration LV1 was derived from skill concentration LV10. Skill proficiency reached. Skill evasion LV4 has become evasion LV5. Skill proficiency reached. Skill life LV7 has become life LV8. Skill points gained. Apparently, concentration have reached the max level at the same time as level up. Chapter 78. It's an amazing skill. The concentration skill that I have expected have reached its max level. Let's appraise the derived skill, thought acceleration. Thought acceleration accelerates the thoughts, and the perceivable time is extended. It's an amazing skill. No, isn't this seriously amazing? In other words, it's that, right? It means that the flow of time feels slower, right? It's the phenomenon that the top-notch athlete experiences sometimes where the ball looks slow, right? To be able to activate it. Isn't it amazing? I activate it immediately. The activation itself succeeded without any problems. So, how does it feels? The magma's movement is a little slow. And, there's an uncomfortable feeling. The various senses of the body feels fast and yet slow. It's a strange feeling that can't be said. I try to move my body. Somehow, there's a strange weight like being underwater. Like impatience that can't be moved. So, this is the default of thought acceleration. Recently, because I will get carried away by my speed, when I use my top speed, I should probably activate this. But, this doesn't consumes anything. Neither my MP nor SP has decreased. That means this is a skill that can be activated continuously, a passive skill. Although it looks like it can be switched between on and off, there's no demerit even though I switch it on continuously. Isn't it amazing? I thought it will surely consumes MP. Something like MP is consumed and it can only be activated for a few seconds. No consumption anytime and anywhere. Isn't this an outrageous skill? The demerit is none in particular. If I were to say it, then there's an uncomfortable feeling to get used to this feeling. I might have acquired an unimaginable cheat skill. Skill proficiency reached. Skill prediction LV9 has become prediction LV10. Conditions met. Skill prediction LV10 has evolved into skill foresight LV1. Prediction San, bye. Come to think of it, this also was on the brink of reaching max level. Well, although it was a useless skill, did it become useful after evolving? Foresight, the effect of prediction rises. As a result, the possibility of the future can slightly be seen. The possibility of the future? What does it mean? For the time being, activate. On. This also can be activated without any problems. But, nothing changes? No. Somehow, the magma's movement is a little weird. Some parts are blurred. No, it overlaps with what I'm seeing. Is this overlapped part the one that's called possibility of the future? In short, does it means that I'm seeing the future? Well, I can't believe on it because it's just a possibility, but this skill might be useful if I raise it. The magma that overlapped is also few now, so it doesn't seems to be useful. Wait a minute. This also doesn't consume anything? This is also a passive skill. It's an amazing skill. I never thought that a treasure will come out from the useless child, prediction. I'm sorry, prediction. It's possible to become competent even if a useless child work hard. Skill proficiency reached. Skill appraisal LV8 has become appraisal LV9. The head of the former useless child came. Appraisal Sama. How is the level up this time? Please, let me see at once. Small poison Terratect LV7 no name. Status. HP 88/88 green. MP 185/185 blue. SP 88/88 yellow. 88/88 red plus 612. Average offensive ability 109. Average defensive ability 108. Average magic ability 139. Average resistance ability 173. Average speed ability 956. Skill. Automatic HP recovery LV5 MP recovery speed LV3 MP consumption down LV2 SP recovery speed LV2 SP consumption down LV2 enhanced destruction LV1 enhanced slashing LV1 enhanced poison LV2 fighting spirit LV1 vitality granting LV2 deadly poison attack LV3 poison synthesis LV7 thread talent LV3 spider thread LV9 severing thread LV6 thread manipulation LV8 throw LV7 3D maneuver LV4 concentration LV10 thought acceleration LV1 foresight LV1 parallel thought LV4 calculation processing LV6 accuracy LV8 evasion LV5 appraisal LV9 detection LV6 stealth LV7 hell heresy magic LV3 shadow magic LV2 poison magic LV2 abyss magic LV10 pride overeating LV7 night vision LV10 visible range expansion LV2 destruction resistance LV1 blow resistance LV2 slash resistance LV3 fire resistance LV1 deadly poison resistance LV2 paralysis resistance LV3 petrifaction resistance LV3 acid resistance LV4 corrosion resistance LV3 faint resistance LV2 fear resistance LV7 heresy resistance LV3 pain nullity pain alleviation LV7 enhanced vision LV8 enhanced hearing LV8 enhanced smell LV7 enhanced taste LV5 enhanced touch LV6 life LV8 magic amount LV8 agility LV8 endurance LV8 Herculean strength LV3 solid LV3 protection LV3 Idaten LV3 taboo LV4 and percent I equals W. Skill points 220. Title. Gross feeder blood relative eater assassin monster killer poison technique user thread user merciless monster slaughterer ruler of pride. The titles are added. I have been interested in this plainly. And the figure seen next to this red gauge, certainly, it's the overeating skill stocks. It's stocked this much. Then, no wonder it doesn't decrease no matter how long time progress. Well then, let's appraise the titles immediately. Chapter 79 houses Spider who's full of dangerous titles. Because of appraisal Sama's power, the titles can be seen. Let's appraise the details immediately. Title: the reinforced code acquired by meeting specific conditions. When obtaining it, 2 skills can be acquired. Among the titles, There are those with special effects and those that have the effect of raising status. The title doesn't only acquire 2 skills. I surely thought that it was like that. That means, my titles might have some special effects. This is making me getting excited to appraise it. Thus, let's go. Gross feeder acquisition skill poison resistance LV1 corrosion resistance LV1 acquisition condition intake a large amount of poison for a certain period effect stomach becomes stronger explanation the title presented to those who made poison as food. Ah, yes. That's right, I have only ate poison since I was born. Then, I can't complain even if I were to be called gross feeder. I mean, what's with that stomach becomes stronger effect? Well, I have only ate poison, was it unexpectedly useful? If I don't have this title and the corrosion resistance, then I might die at the moment I ate the snail insect, so I might be indebted to it. However, the name is like that. Blood relative eater acquisition skill taboo LV1 heresy magic LV1 acquisition condition eat blood relatives effect none explanation the title presented to those who ate their blood relatives. Effect, none. Is there a point to acquire this title? No matter how I think, when there's the taboo skill that has a negative effect, isn't this a must not acquire title? Heresy magic can't be used, so it not a gain. At present, only the bad one haven't play their role. Assassin acquisition skill stealth LV1 shadow magic LV1 acquisition condition after the number of succession in assassination by surprise attack reaches a certain point effect damage bonus to the first attack of the surprise attack explanation the title presented to those who repeated assassination. Oh. Although it's the same as the acquired skills, the effect is also quite real. As expected, this is ninja. Because ninja also had the assassin side, it's not wrong. Can I behead someone in a surprise attack with bare hands sooner or later? In the first place, even though I'm bare-handed, I have claws, so I can do it if I want. Monster killer acquisition skill powerful LV1 sturdy LV1 acquisition condition defeat a certain number of monsters effect a slight increase in damage when the opponent is a monster explanation the title presented to those who defeated a lot of monsters. As expected, the number of monsters killed was related. Although I don't know how much exactly is the certain number when I acquired this title, I have defeated quite an amount of monsters. The effect is also quite delicious, so this is a good title to acquire. Poison technique user acquisition skill poison synthesis LV1 poison magic LV1 acquisition condition use a certain amount of poison effect enhance the poison attribute explanation the title presented to those who uses poison. The very useful title number 1. I'm indebted to poison synthesis. I mean, the effect is also amazing. It's like the title for me. If I can use poison magic, then I have nothing to say. The acquisition condition, a certain amount of poison, is it unrelated to the strength of the poison? If I assume that, my poison is considerably strong, so I might have used only a little amount. Even though I have been using poison ever since I was born, the reason that I can't acquire this title easily might be that. Thread user acquisition skill thread manipulation LV1 severing thread LV1 acquisition condition the number of attacks using the thread reaches a certain point effect the offensive ability using the thread is increased explanation the title presented to those who take thread as a weapon. The very useful title number 2. It's the title that super strengthens my main weapon, threat. It won't do much in this middle layer though. However, the acquisition condition, effect and the explanation are fine. I never thought that this title is a title for those who use thread to attack. In my case, the adhesion thread was my main force. That, rather than an attack, it's more like a support. So, I acquired this title quite slow. With the adhesion thread, it didn't judge it as an attack. When I began to use Kummerning Star and Cast Net, were those counted as attacks? If only I know the acquisition condition a little more early, it might be a little easier to acquire it. Merciless acquisition skill heresy magic LV1 heresy resistance LV1 acquisition condition take merciless action effect feelings of guilt disappears explanation the title presented to those who became merciless. Vague overall. Elaborate the explanation more. Isn't the acquisition condition too vague? The effect is also strange, so it's a strange title overall. Monster Slaughterer acquisition skill Herculean strength LV1 solid LV1 acquisition condition defeat a certain number of monsters effect an increase in damage when the opponent is a monster explanation the title presented to those who defeated a great amount of monsters. This is completely the higher rank of the monster killer title. Perhaps, when I defeat more monsters than the monster killer, I will acquire this title. Looking at the effect or explanation, it feels like that. Ruler of Pride acquisition skill abyss magic LV10 hell acquisition condition acquisition of pride effect every ability of MP, magic and resistance rise. A plus correction whenever mind type skill proficiency gained. The ruler class privilege is acquired explanation the title presented to those who rule pride. Wait for a while. What's with that effect? The reason my status skyrocketed suddenly is you? I mean, not only that, but a plus correction whenever skill proficiency is gained. Even though the effect of pride has already been added? So that's why my prediction rises so fast. I mean, what's the ruler class privilege? Ruler class privilege the authority to manage a part of the world given to the ruler. What's that? Can I use that? Received the use request of the privilege form the ruler of pride. There's no authority that the ruler of pride can use now. None. Seriously, what's this? The pride skill is too mysterious. Well, I understood various things about titles. As expected, Appraisal Sama is reliable. Chapter 80 Spider vs Fire Drake. Because I'm satisfied with Appraisal Sama's results, I eat the catfish that cooled. I need to wait like this for the monsters in the middle layer to cool down in order to eat it. Even if I waited only the outside has cooled, and the inside is still hot. My HP will decrease if I'm careless. It's unpleasant to use my nerve in order to eat. Ah, the catfish is delicious. Seriously. It's the first time I meet an ingredient that's delicious in this spider life. Amazing. I shouldn't have let the other one go. No, I can still catch up with it. That guy was considerably slow, so can I catch up now? But I can't do anything if it escape into the magma. Sheet, I failed. For the time being, let's eat this catfish. Skill proficiency reached. Skill enhanced taste LV5 has become enhanced taste LV6. Delicious. I'm glad that I'm born. Seriously delicious. Although it's still far compared with what I ate in my previous life, I have only ate unappetizing things so far. Finally, I really meet something delicious. Though I'm not particularly picky in eating in my previous life. I only know how blessed am I in those days after I became a spider. I'm already sick of unappetizing monsters. I want to eat delicious things. Yosh. Let's hunt the catfish. There's no need to worry about the catfish being a little stronger. To satisfy this desire, I will risk my life. That shows how worry it is. Now, wait for me, catfish. I'll consume you until extinction. Catfish HH. Catfish H. Catfish H, weary you. I wander around the labyrinth searching for the catfish. None. When I don't want you to appear, you appear suddenly, and when I want you to appear, you won't appear at all. Come out quickly. Come out and be eaten by me. The other guy appears at such a time. Elro Generush LV8. Status. HP 170/170 green. MP 161/161 blue. SP 158/158 yellow. 156/167 red. Average offensive ability 8.7. Average defensive ability 8.4. Average magic ability 8.4. Average resistance ability 8.1. Average speed ability 9.1. Skill. Fire Drake LV1 accuracy LV4 swim LV4 heat nullity. 3 seahorses appeared. One of the status among them has something added on it. Ooh, that's right. Appraisal Sama's level rose, so I can see the opponent's skills. Finally, Appraisal Sama looks like a cheat. However, seahorse, aren't your skill too few? Only 4. It's too lonely. It's no wonder that I feel that you are weaker than your status. Moreover, heat nullity is obviously the max level of fire resistance, and the other skills are all low. For the time being, let's appraise the skill that I seen for the first time. Fire Drake, a special skill owned by the Fire Drake species. A special effect is displayed according to the level. LV1 Fireball Breath. Swim increases the swimming movement. Fumu. The Fire Drake is as expected, a special skill that exists only in the Fire Drake species. Similar to my Spider Thread skill. It looks like it can only shoot the fireball at level 1. I mean, even though the guy itself is level 8, the Fire Drake skill is level 1. Is the skill level hard to raise? Or is it just because this guy is lazy to earn skill proficiency? And, swim is a skill that makes a person swim better. I'm convinced after seeing the skills. I won't lose against these guys. Thus, quickly, well, this won't end quickly. After all, these guys are in the magma. I only have stone throwing as an attack from here. Ah, wait. What will happen if I smear deadly poison on the stone? You'll never know unless you try. First of all, avoid my opponent's fireball and pick up a stone in that interval. Umu. Thought acceleration is doing a good job. If it was before, I might need to devote myself to avoid if there are 3 of them, but thanks to thought acceleration, I have the composure to counterattack. Facing the stone, I use poison synthesis. Yosh yosh. Now that the poison sticks to the stone, Darissa. Minus. The stone that I threw hits one of the seahorses splendidly. How's the decrease of HP? On. It's not very good. Although it's better than doing nothing, it doesn't increase that much. After all, by putting it on the stone is not enough to stick to the opponent's body firmly. My deadly spider poison has 2 kinds of damage, which are contact damage and intake damage. The contact damage is the damage that occurs when the poison is attached to the skin, and the intake damage is the damage that occurs when the opponent's inside is invaded by the poison. In the case of contact damage and intake damage, the intake damage is overwhelmingly higher. Although the contact damage is not so high, the damage increases tremendously after a certain time when leaving it with poison on it. It's because of the adhering poison that enters the opponent's inside. In other words, contact also will eventually become intake. Well, it will be a different story if it's washed off before that. That's why, if the opponent is a monster that won't wash off the poison, I don't need to aim at its mouth purposely, because all I have to do is to stick the poison on its body. When I'm in hurry, the best will be aiming the mouth or the eyes, but when thinking about safety, I should stick it at the place that has a lot of chance. That is used properly in the situation sometimes. Thus, let's cover the seahorses one by one with poison, because the seahorses' MP are exhausted, and they have came ashore nonchalantly. For these guys, because their mouth are small, I have no choice but to splash it on their body. Chapter Side Story 12 Academy. There's an academy in this country. In the former world, going to school was natural, but in this world, only few who goes to school. Privileged class nobles, etc., or some affluent commoners, or those who are blessed with talents, only can go to school. Because I'm from the royal family, it's not a problem to go to the academy. Sue is also the same, and Katya, who is the duke's daughter, also cleared the conditions. It has been decided that the 3 of us will enter the academy together. General studies is taught in the academy similar to the school in the former world. The lesson to fight will also be attended at the same time. That is the main one. Although Dastordia continent is a human race territory, in the case of other continents, the fight against the demon race and monsters is still intense. Monsters also inhabit in the Dastordia continent, but the people who can fight is insufficient. That's why, fight is often learned in the academy. The 3 of us is in the hall where the academy's entrance ceremony was held. If I look around the surroundings, the students who entered the academy this year sit on the seat while waiting for the ceremony to start. Because this academy boasts of being the largest structure in the neighborhood, children from foreign countries came to enter the academy. Among them, there are also demi-human, etc., can be seen here and there. When I look at such students, I avert my eyes quickly and I'm watched by the students. I can feel the glance sometimes, and the voice speaking of a rumor can be heard. The person over there, I heard that he's the prince in this country. Although he is said to be a genius, judging from his appearance, he doesn't look strong. Can't I get acquainted with him somehow? Although I'm said variously, because of enhanced hearing, I can hear everything. It's very uncomfortable. Good morning. A nonchalant voice breaks such atmosphere and reaches my ear. Turning around, as expected, Oka-chan aka Furimes of the Elf was there. Good morning. Somehow it feels strange that Sensei is a student. Sensei is excited that Sensei can taste youth once more. Sensei sit down next to me. Sue, who sat on the opposite side, sends a glare at Sensei. Rather than glaring, she's staring usually. Come to think of it, this is the first meeting for both of them. In the next moment, fear runs on my back. Imato-chan. The next time you release your killing intent towards Sensei, Sensei will kill you, you know. Sensei, who says it while smiling. Her tone is still the same as always. But her eyes didn't laugh at all. Sue is also pressured by that power. Katya and I were surprised at such Sensei's appearance. Because she was called by the nickname, Oka-chan, Sensei should be a person who had the charm. She never got seriously angry, and she was a friendly teacher. Even if it's wrong, she shouldn't be a person who release a dreadful and cold killing intent. Did that surprise you? But, if we don't do this much, we won't be able to survive in this world. Because the elf's growth are slower than the human, we get underestimated of being small, but if you want to pick a fight with Sensei, then please come after you have resolved to die, okay? Sensei might have experienced unimaginable experiences because she was able to use the word resolute to die without hesitation. I stealthily use appraisal that I raised steadily on Sensei. Appraisal was obstructed. Shunkun, it's not an admiration to look at a lady's profile without permission. My head was hit by something almost at the same time as the result of appraisal. Failed. Sensei has never taught you to be a peeping Tom. Although I don't know what's the principle, Sensei senses and obstructs my appraisal and counterattacks. And in addition to that, in the method that I can't react at all. Just in that exchange, I understood that I can't defeat Sensei. I'm sorry, I got interested. On. If you do something bad, the best is to apologize. But the next time you appraise Sensei without permission, Sensei will have you feel a bit more pain, okay? Hi. I will engrave it on my heart. Really. It's better that I don't do anything imprudent. But Sensei, if you have the ability to that extent, then is there a need to go to the academy? I suddenly held such a doubt. Actually, Katya, Sue and I have been training, but we have no experience in combat. For this reason, we came here with the purpose to perfect our basics. But, judging from Sensei's ability and the way she speaks, she looks like she has already gained combat experiences. Is there something to be learned in this academy now? There is. There are plenty of things to be learned in this academy. But, that's just half of my official stance, and this country will be the base of activity for a while. If that's the case, then there's no need to go to the academy. The activity that Sensei is saying is not searching for students. Then, what? That is still a secret, but the search of the remaining students is entrusted to the elves. I stiffened toward Sensei's shocking remark. When we met before, Sensei said that 6 students are yet to be found. What on earth Sensei wants to do to the point that she abandoned that? You might think that's cold-hearted, but here is the limit of the search. The place we have in search is the demon race territory and the untrodden land. To be honest, Sensei don't think that they are still alive. Wah! Sensei, are you serious? Serious, really serious. Action in the earliest stages is important for such disaster relief. Sensei has done the very best after being born again. But, I think it's good that half of the number were found. It's great as a result because it was exceeded drastically. But, then, will you look for the remaining 6? How? With your legs? You think you will find them? My feeling shrinks like being grabbed tightly towards Sensei, who suddenly speaks normally. Sensei, who saw that, breathed a heavy sigh. Although Sensei has said it before, Sensei has done the very best. From now on, Sensei thinks that making the former students that were found to live properly in this world is the priority. Therefore, Sensei wants to learn various things in this academy and act variously at the same time. I understand. Although I'm not consent from the bottom of my heart, Sensei certainly have done her best. Besides, I, who didn't contributes to the activity at all, I can't state my opinion. Perhaps, Sensei herself might be the most painful. I'm sorry. I said something in a presumptuous manner. Shunkun never said anything wrong. However, even if it's not wrong, there are a lot of things that are not correct in this world. Afterwards, the entrance ceremony was held. Honestly, the contents didn't enter at all. Therefore, I overlooked what kind of face did Sue and Katya made. Chapter 81 Spider vs. Fire Drake. Catfish H. I wanted to meet you, Catfish. I found you at last. Now, hand over the meat. Hand it over right now. The choices are only snatch it even if I have to kill you. My heart's desired catfish was found. That guy is swimming calmly in the magma. First of all, I need to lure it out from the magma. By the way, the catfish's skill appraisal also succeeded. There's no great difference with the previous guy in status. The skills that the catfish has were Fire Drake, LV2 Dragon Scale, LV1 Accuracy, LV7 Swim, LV6 Overeating, LV2 Heat Nullity. Heat Clad can be used when Fire Drake became level 2. It's as its name, cladding heat on its body. It's a defensive type technique, or so I thought, but in Appraisalsama's explanation, the most important thing is that moving ability rises while activating a technique. But, because its body is heated, if it doesn't have fire resistance, its body itself will receive damage. The catfish has heat nullity, so it's irrelevant. Dragon Scale is a skill that grows special scales on the whole body. If I were to speak of how special it is, then certainly it has high defensive ability and it can obstruct the power of magic to some extent. However, it doesn't protect against it, but it interferes the composition of the magic and weakens the power. Well, either way I can't use magic, so I think it's okay if I recognize it as a simply hard scale. The rest are skills that everyone have already known. However, although it's something that I thought suddenly, this catfish, is it the seahorse's evolution? It's the same fire drake species, and the skills are all the higher rank skills of the seahorse's skills. Compared with the seahorse, the skill level rose and dragon scale and overeating are added. When seeing the species or the skill composition, it seems possible. But then the appearance changed so much just by evolving. The catfish from the seahorse, isn't it degenerating biologically? I don't know the details, so I can't declare it. Although the appearance changed considerably, but however, if the round mouth is stretched with all strength and the whole body becomes thick, then will it be a catfish? Strange. Well, such thing doesn't matter. My concern is only the catfish's meat. Thus, preemptive attack, poison stone. The poison stone that I threw hits the catfish's back. As expected, the HP hardly decreases. Here, after all, let's go with the strategy where I hit it with poison synthesis when it rushes towards me. And when I was thinking about that catfish shoots out a fireball breath from within the magma. Seriously. It's faster and bigger than the seahorse's fireball. Well, but still, it won't hit. I avoided the fireball that came suddenly. The experience time of thought acceleration can only be extended a little at present, but still, the entire world's movement feels slower than usual. Thanks to my absurdly high speed, I can move normally even in the slowly advancing time. Well, when the skill level of thought acceleration rose, this slow condition will get even slower, so I don't know what will happen at that time. Now, it has extended from 1 second to 1.1 seconds, I wonder? Although I don't know such accurate thing because it's an experience, I think that it's roughly that much. The catfish shoots a second shot as it is. This guy, it's doing the same thing as the seahorse. As expected, the catfish is the seahorse's evolution. The previous catfish only came up to the land at the very beginning by chance, and it uses the same strategy as the seahorse. But heat clad is added, so I might need to deal with it in that situation. Previously, it might attacked me because I appeared in front of it suddenly. I avoid the catfish's fireball. It's about time that its MP is exhausted, but how will the catfish come out? Although the seahorse comes up to the land nonchalantly when its MP is exhausted, how about the catfish? If it don't come up to the land, I will be troubled, but seeing that previous escape, it seems to escape if it felt danger. I won't allow such a thing, you know. I will chase you to the end of the earth, you know. Leaving aside my concerns, the catfish stopped spitting fireballs. You still have a little MP though? It decreased now. Did it use heat clad? It's amazing that such thing can be understand. The opponent's information is fully known. Appraisal Sama is a cheat after all. The catfish creeps out from within the magma. It opens its big mouth as it is and rushes towards me. Cuckoo. I waited for it. I attracted enough and poison synthesis. At the same time, I evade quickly. The catfish swallowed the deadly poison while going straight ahead. I look at that appearance and the catfish fell. It's twitching. The spider's deadly poison is really effective. The normal powerful poison won't have such effect, and when I match it with the spider poison, the power of poison synthesis skyrockets. This skill's compatibility with me is really good. Well then, I pour additional poison on the suffering catfish. The catfish twitch greatly and dies at the end. Now, I need to wait the effect of heat clad and the magma to cool. Meal. Up until now, it was compulsory to eat the monsters that I have defeated, but this time is different. I can taste deliciously. How wonderful. Cool faster. I'm looking forward to eat it. Chapter 82 Spider vs Fire Drake. The catfish was delicious. It's a very delicious dish. When doing so, enhanced taste rose to level 7. I want to retort on myself who concentrated on eating. But, it can't be helped. Up until now I have only eaten unappetizing things. I want to taste delicious things. Incidentally, overeating rose to level 8. The stock is still enough, but if the level rises, the amount that can be stocked will also increase, so there's no disadvantage. It will soon become level 10, and I'm also interested in either overeating derived skill or evolved skill. It's such a convenient skill, so I can expect from it. Besides, there's something that's on my mind. That's the pride skill. Speaking of pride, the 7 deadly sins. And among the 7 deadly sins, there's one called gluttony. Overeating and gluttony. The sound of the word and the meaning are similar. Perhaps is gluttony the evolution of overeating? I can't help but to feel so. The effect of pride is too extraordinary, so if overeating evolves into gluttony as the same series, it might have an effect rivaling pride. However, in that case, as expected, I will be shadowed by the same uneasiness as pride. Well, it's still level 8. It's still early to be worried. Besides, the skill level rose as it pleases, so it can't be helped even if I worry. Well then, let's search for the next catfish. Catfish. I wander around the middle layer searching for catfish. But, I can't find the catfish. Mo. In the first place, I can't find it if it dives into the magma. During the first time I encounter it, it also appeared suddenly from within the magma. If it usually dives in the magma, then finding it will become difficult. In my opinion, my searching ability without relying on my skills is quite high. Although I'm not aware of it myself, when I think back, it's just that my intuition is good. I never received a surprise attack in the upper layer or the lower layer, and when I feel the dangers, it roughly hits. I think that this might be something equipped originally on a spider. Without being aware of it, feel the flow of the air, I think. That it's like that. Come to think of it, even though a catfish was nearby in the magma, I understand that I didn't notice it. If I can perceive it by the flow of air, then it can't be helped that I can't perceive it if it's in the magma. Underwater or underground, I probably won't be able to know if it's a surprise attack from there. Then, it's dangerous to be near to the magma. If it suddenly springs at me and drag me into the magma, then my death is decided. Well, even if it's not like that, because being near to the magma is dangerous, I should keep away from it as much as possible. From now on, I should put myself on guard so that I'm good to go when a monster appears suddenly. Like this. It came out from within the magma, and the guy appeared in front of me is an eel? On. It's the eel-like monster that has limbs. REBORN LV2. Status. HP 1001/1001 green. MP 511/511 blue. SP 899/899 yellow. 971/971 red plus 57. Average offensive ability 893. Average defensive ability 821. Average magic ability 454. Average resistance ability 433. Average speed ability 582. Skill. Fire Drake LV4 Dragon Scale LV5 Enhance Fire LV1 Accuracy LV10 Evasion LV1 Probability Correction LV1 High Speed Swim LV2 Overeating LV5 Heat Nullity Life LV3 Agility LV1 Endurance LV3 Powerful LV1 Sturdy LV1. Crap. This eel is very strong. REBORN the medium rank monster who belongs to the dragon that inhabits in the REBORN Great Labyrinth middle layer. Omnivorous, but it has the habit of eating other monsters by its own choice. This strength is only medium rank. I mean, seeing the skill composition, is this eel the evolution of the catfish? I have no time to care about such thing now. The distance with the eel is about 15 meters. The other side has already noticed me and lock on me. Although I'm higher in speed, my other status are hopelessly inferior. Especially the red stamina gauge, I lost even including the overeating skill stock. Even if I escape, the possibility of it catching up after my stamina is exhausted is high. I hope that it gives up before that happens. And my yellow stamina gauge is low, so I can't maintain my top speed for a long time. The worst possibility is that I will get caught when my yellow gauge is exhausted. Can I get away from it? When thinking so, the eel's appearance blurred. This foresight is activated. And the blurred eel seems to take an action like spitting something. After that, the eel spit out a fireball similar to the blurred image. After all, the basic strategy is the same. But the fireball is fast and big that it cannot be compared with the seahorse and the catfish. I evade it in a hurry. Although thought acceleration works, the fireball flies at the speed that I can't feel that favor. The fireball hits the place I was directly together with an explosion. I can only barely avoid it even though I borrowed the power of foresight and thought acceleration. I thought that I was able to avoid it with a little more time, but what's this? Probability correction increases the power of the skills that are related to probability. It's because of this skill. The hit rate might rise because of this skill. Then, it might be difficult to keep avoiding it even with my evasion. This might be genuinely dangerous. Chapter 83 Spider vs. Fire Drake. I avoid the fireball spitted by the eel. The following fireball flies towards the point where I avoid it. Like this, I can't even escape. My HP decreases a little by the aftermath of the explosion. Although it can be avoided if I use my top speed, my yellow gauge decreases fast. If I keep my best speed, my yellow gauge will be exhausted in the blink of an eye and I will lose my breath. It would be the end if that happens. I predict the trajectory of the fireball by the power of foresight and thought acceleration, anticipate it and dodge it. But the eel reads that I will forestall it, and the trajectory is corrected. Which one will outsmart the other party? It's the tension like reading the back until the back. Although it's not a big deal even if the other side misses, I will die if I miss even once. There's a big difference. Skill proficiency reached. Skill thought acceleration LV1 has become thought acceleration LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill foresight LV1 has become foresight LV2. The skill level ups in this timing is very welcome. The movement of the flying fireball can be felt a little slower than before. Because my speed also will become slower, I must be careful about it. The fireball is avoided. Then, a different movement from the current eel was seen in foresight. Although there's no difference in the action of the breath, it stores more than the current. I lift off the top speed that I saved. I run through at the speed that leaves the scenery. An intense flame burnt the rear. Flame breath breathed out a long breath of flame that burns a wide range. It's the technique that becomes usable at the skill level 4 of Fire Drake. Although I'm sure that I didn't receive a direct hit, my back is hot even it's just the remaining heat. My HP also decreases gradually. The situation is getting gradually worse and worse. If I receive even one direct hit, I won't survive. Having said that, I don't have an effective breakthrough solution. I can only continue to avoid now and wait for the chance. There's an uneasiness feeling from my gradually whittling life. A fireball flies again. Because of the eel's accuracy skill at level 10 and the probability correction skill, the aim is unexpectedly accurate. If I don't have the combo of evasion, thought acceleration and foresight, then it's doubtful that I can avoid it. Skill proficiency reached. Skill evasion LV5 has become evasion LV6. Yosh. Although the situation can't be reversed, I want even a little advantage now. The eel's remaining MP is confirmed while I avoided the fireball. Although it decreased considerably, it still remains more than half. The flame breath is only a wide-range technique and the MP consumption is more intense than the fireball. If it can't be fired continuously, then it's good, but I want it to keep it as it is. Foresight doesn't activate always, so if that happens, I'm not confident that I can avoid it. I must confirm the eel's state as long as I can. Just when I thought about it, foresight caught the appearance of the eel breathing out flame breath. I run through at top speed once again. But this time, the eel doesn't breathe out the breath straight, it shakes its head to the side and breathes out sweeping sideways. The already wide flame breath attack range expands more. Go. It grazed me a little. Even though it's just grazed, my HP decreased by 10. The parts that got grazed were a part of my back and one of my hind legs. Although there's a slight pain in my hind leg, it seems to be okay to move. However, there might be a small delay in my speed. This is bad. Skill proficiency reached. Skill fire resistance LV1 has become fire resistance LV2. After coming so far, the fire resistance that never rose, finally rose. Good timing. If fire resistance rises, the automatic recovery should exceed the amount of the terrain damage. Although the amount of recovery might be insignificant, there's a wide difference between it exists and it doesn't exist. I see the eel's MP. Yosh. It reached half. The consumption of MP for fireball is roughly 10 and the flame breath is about 50. Even though it reached half, if the eel thinks to do it, it can breathe out 4 flame breath. I don't want that. I move to take distance with the eel. When doing so, the eel spits out fireballs while pursuing me. As planned. I don't think it can breathe out that flame breath while moving. Now, I only need to keep it running while spitting out fireballs until its MP is exhausted. As long as that's overcome, there should be a chance. Now, I avoid earnestly. Falling back as much as possible, but move with avoiding as the highest priority. I carefully choose the escape route, so that I don't get cornered to the edge of the magma. I will die if I make a mistake. Feeling like taking a risk. Skill proficiency reached. Skill automatic HP recovery LV5 has become automatic HP recovery LV6. Yosh yosh. As expected, I need to concentrate in a combat, so my skill level rises quickly. The skill that I have waited for it to level as well as the fire resistance rose in this timing. It's only an instant that I become happy. But that instant is fatal. The eel's neck moves like the action of the breath. It's completely unexpected. Foresight never activated. I can't avoid this. A breath gushes out from the eel's mouth. Immediately, I kick the ground with all my strength and jump up into the air. The breath snatches my legs. While enduring the pain, I extend a thread towards the ceiling. I pull myself in a hurry and lands on the ceiling. Skill proficiency reached. Skill 3D Maneuver LV4 has become 3D Maneuver LV5. I, who look down at the eel from the ceiling. The eel that looks up at me from within the magma. Although I managed to avoid the breath somehow, what should I do after this? Chapter 84 Spider vs Fire Drake. Enough about the fact that I escaped to the ceiling. This situation is not very good. My movement is slower when I cling to the ceiling than the time I'm on ground. I had to do my best even on the ground, so I can never be able to keep avoiding the eel's attack. If I don't return to the ground quick, I will get sniped. However, it's hard to say that the eel has composure. The eel's MP decreased considerably. If I convert the remaining MP, it will be 3 Flame Breath and 16 if it's Fireball. If I compare it with the beginning, it has considerably decreased. But it has enough strength to shoot me down who's at the ceiling. Either I return to the ground first or the eel shoots me down first. I begin to move. Head for the nearest wall. But it looks like the eel anticipated it. A fireball is shot accurately to obstruct my movement. It's difficult to avoid it if I'm clinging to the ceiling. I can't be concerned about my yellow gauge now. I evade the approaching fireball with all my speed. I have no choice but to push through by relying on SP consumption down and SP recovery speed. I must get close to the wall at all costs before my yellow gauge is exhausted. I somehow manage to avoid the approaching fireball. But, because of that, I can't reach the wall. Meanwhile, my yellow gauge decreases. This is bad. If my yellow gauge is exhausted, even clinging to the ceiling will be hard. I must evade that alone at all costs. Although I think about that, because of the perfect fireball sniping, it won't advance as I thought. And, finally, my yellow gauge was exhausted. Tiredness attacks my body at once. The fireball approaches there without mercy. I judge that I can't avoid it, and naturally, I jump into the empty air. The fireball bursts nearby and the blast strokes my body. I somehow manage to control my spinning body, and I fire a thread. The string that sticks on the wall is immediately drawn. A fireball passes through the empty air where I was a little while ago. My body swings like the pendulum, and I succeed in landing on the ground without falling into the magma. A fireball flies towards there without mercy. With the momentum of the landing, I roll to avoid the fireball. It's painful. As the compensation that I kept moving even if my yellow gauge is exhausted, I taste a severe suffocation, the physical weariness that assaults my whole body and pain. I ignore it by force with the power of pain nullity and pain alleviation. Because the eel is preparing a flame breath. I whipped my trembling body, and run at full speed. The edge of my view is dyed red by the flame. Heat approaches from the rear. I run to shake it off. And, I avoided the flame breath. Skill proficiency reached. Skill evasion LV6 has become evasion LV7. After avoiding the flame breath, I breathe out my accumulated breath. My yellow gauge begins to recover. No fireballs flown anymore. Finally, the eel's MP is exhausted. The eel that lost its long-distance attack slips to the land and makes its appearance. Only the face looks like an eel. The one over there has a close resemblance to the Orient dragon. It's a drake that had a long body. Even if its MP is exhausted, my appearance is caught in its eyes as usual. It seems that I have been recognized completely as an enemy. At first, it might want to crush me because I'm an eyesore, but it started to get serious on shooting its fireballs midway. It's completely serious when it breathed out its flame breath. Apparently, it seems that it's not pleased that I kept avoiding. Even if I escape like this, I don't think it will overlook me. Although its MP is exhausted, its SP is still in good health. To compare with that, my SP is considerably scraped. As the compensation to keep moving even if my yellow gauge is exhausted, the amount of my red stamina gauge has decreased to the extent that it can't be ignored. Because there's still the overeating skill stock, I won't be unable to move instantly, but when it comes to a physical strength match with the eel, I will surely lose. It's impossible to get away. then there's only one choice. I have no choice but to fight and win. When seeing the numerical value of the status, I don't have a chance to win. But it's not all about numerical value. Although it can be understood if I fight even if it's unpleasant, skill is the most important element in this world. In the first place, with this much difference in the numerical value, it's a miracle that I'm still alive. The skill is certainly the one that's causing this miracle. The power of the skill is demonstrated to its maximum, and because it fills the difference in the status, thus, I succeeded in making the eel to crawl up to the same arena. Although the difference in the status is certainly a big difference, it's not an absolute difference. It's a difference that's enough to be overturned by the skill. And all of the eel's skills were seen through. Now that its MP is exhausted, the skills that I need to be cautious are accuracy and evasion, and the probability correction combo. And its defensive ability by Dragon Scale. The level 3 technique of Fire Drake. And the simple physical ability from the large build. It's a fairly formidable enemy even if I see this much. But I still have my trump card. My strongest weapon, Deadly Poison Attack. Defensive ability is useless against this attack. It can even corrode the defense of the scales, and the deadly poison will ruin your body. To the end, I can only rely on my skills. I'm only surpass it in skills. But there's also a possibility to surpass it. Both of us lack of defensive ability. If the attack is decided, the win is decided. A match of a one-hit kill. Then, the one that becomes the winning move of the match is. And the second round on the ground began without a signal. Chapter 85 Spider vs Fire Drake End. The eel wriggle its long body. In the offense and defense so far, the eel seems to be quite cautious of me. Although not as much as the monkey, this eel is smarter than other monsters. That alone makes it hard for me to act. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Thought Acceleration LV2 has become Thought Acceleration LV3. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Foresight LV2 has become Foresight LV3. The eel moved matching the voice of heaven, wriggling its body, and strike with its tail. Of course I evade it. But the eel's attack doesn't end there. Immediately, its tail sweeps sideways to attack me. I fall back further and evade it. This time it pulls back its tail, and it go towards me. I have been waiting for that. In the somewhat slow world caused by the thought acceleration, I stare at the approaching eel's mouth. I judge that I can avoid it, so I activate poison synthesis at the last moment. I withdraw at once. It's the same strategy used on the catfish. But the effect is tremendous. The eel tastes my deadly poison as planned. The eel's HP decreases rapidly. The painfully struggling eel acts violently in random. I withdraw from the range of its rage. In the end, if both have the offensive ability of the same one-hit kill, then the one who hits first wins. If that's the case, then how to make the attack hits? The one with the great strategy will win. In addition, my evasion ability is better than the eel's accuracy. Even if it has the power of accuracy level 10 and probability correction, it won't reach my evasion, thought acceleration and foresight combo. Therefore, when I drag the eel out to the ground, my winning percentage increased a lot. But it's not ended yet. Although I said that it's a one-hit kill, the eel probably doesn't die in that hit. Even the catfish didn't die by a hit, so there's no way the higher rank, which is the eel, will die. Besides, the eel still has the power of that skill. The eel's HP recovers rapidly in front of me. Life Transition consumes SP to recover HP. The level 3 technique of Fire Drake. SP is consumed and HP recovers equivalent to that. Although it's impossible for it to recover its HP fully with its current SP, it can secure enough HP to endure the deadly poison. Furthermore, in the appraisal result of the eel, poison resistance LV1 and automatic HP recovery LV1 are newly added. Still, the poison in its body reduces its HP little by little, but the damage peak ended. Well, there's no way that I will wait for its revival without doing anything. I wrap the eel's body with the thread that's made as strong as possible. Still, it will probably burn out at once, but it doesn't matter. I just need it to stop the eel's movement for a moment. As planned, I succeeded in stopping its movement for a moment. In that moment, I activate poison synthesis aiming at the eel's face in rapid succession. Many drops of deadly poison hit the eel's face. The eel tears the thread off and rages. The poison that invaded from the mouth and the eyes decreased the eel's HP without mercy. The speed is not on the level that the newly acquired automatic recovery can do something about it. The power is not on the level that the newly acquired poison resistance can endure it. This weapon that I have sharpened in my life as a spider is not easy to protect with just a shield that's made instantly. The eel that don't have the SP to recover its HP can never endure this attack. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small poison Terratect LV7 has become LV8. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill parallel thought LV4 has become parallel thought LV5. Skill proficiency reached. Skill SP consumption down LV2 has become SP consumption down LV3. Skill points gained. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small poison Terratect LV8 has become LV9. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill agility LV8 has become agility LV9. Skill proficiency reached. Skill endurance LV8 has become endurance LV9. Skill points gained. Experience points has reached a certain degree. Individual, small poison Terratect LV9 has become LV10. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill calculation processing LV6 has become calculation processing LV7. Skill proficiency reached. Skill enhanced vision LV8 has become enhanced vision LV9. Skill proficiency reached. Skill life LV8 has become life LV9. Skill points gained. Conditions met. Individual, small poison Terratect can evolve. I1. Third part completed. Chapter Side Story 13 Saint and Sword Emperor. The entrance ceremony ended without trouble. After that, each students break up and most of the students either return to their dormitory where they will live or inspect the school. This academy uses the system where all students live in dormitories. I'm not an exception as well, and it's necessary to live in the dormitory when I attend this academy. A student can't go outside of the academy unless something great happens or a long-term holiday. What shall we do after this? Kaguya talks in Hiroju-sama mode. As for us, the preparations for the dormitory are already made. If possible, I want to see the school grounds. Because sensei wants to meet someone, should we go together? Someone you want to meet? Hi. The future Saint and Sword Emperor. Sensei thinks that there's no loss even if you meet them. Saint and Sword Emperor. Speaking of Saint, it's the symbolic existence of the neighboring country, Saint Elias. Also called as the hero's pair, and the saint appointed from the country for generations is obligated to act with the hero. Julius Nisama should be accompanied by the present saint. And, the Sword Emperor is the emperor of the Kasanagara continent's largest human race nation, Rengzant Empire. Because of the Rengzant Empire is close to the territory of the demon race, it's a country where battle doesn't stop. For a person to become the emperor of the country, strength is the first requirement. From that, the emperor for generations are said to be called similar as the first generation emperor, which is Sword Emperor. Although the saint is said to be elected from the candidates who have the qualities, the Sword Emperor is completely by lineage. In other words, the present Sword Emperor's son has enrolled in this academy. Ah, it's the crown prince of the Rengzant Empire. I heard it from the rumors. If I'm not mistaken, he is entering this academy this year in the same way as us. I heard that he's a sword genius that has close resemblance of the first generation. Katya knows it. I don't know such information, you know. Shun, you must learn the ways of the world a little more. Katya says it with an amazed face while I wonder did she guess anything with my face. Goo, I can't object her. But, sensei. The reason why sensei wants to meet them purposely, is it that? It's that. Then, we must surely meet them. For some reasons, the talk advances among the two. Sue and I can't follow the talk, and we can only look at the exchange. Now Shun, let's go, what's with that face? No, I just can't follow the talk. Apart from Sue, why you? Katya and Sensei make a disappointed face at the same time. There's no need to make such a face. Ah, it seems that we don't have to go. I was attracted by Sensei's words, and if I see there, a boy and a girl are approaching here. The boy has a tough look with brown hair that's close to black and has the same color on his pupil. The girl has blue eyes and wavy blonde hair. There's a mysterious loveliness somewhere. Yo. That tiny elf is Oka-chan. Natsume-kun. That's impolite towards sensei. It's been a long time, sensei. The boy and the girl speaks in Japanese. And I finally understand the content of the conversation between Sensei and Katya. These two-person are also the same as us who reincarnated. Long time no see. Sensei is glad that Natsume-kun and Hasebe-san are in good health. In Sensei's words, their former name is known. The boy's former name is Natsume Kengo. He is the man who was the center of the boys in the class. However, I didn't like this Natsume so much. His reflexes are good and physical strength is strong. Although he didn't actually use violence, he shows his power to make people follow him. He has such a strong pressure character. Therefore, there are those who follow Natsume and those who oppose him in the class. I was a man from the opposing side. Well, although I say that I opposed him, I only did nothing but not getting near him. Haha. Although Oka-chan was originally small, she shrank all the more. How funny. Natsume-kun. The one who rebuked Natsume was the former next seat, Hasebe-uka. Hasebe was unlike Natsume. She was a girl who doesn't have anything good and bad. Although she should have the easy to set adrift character when saying that she has something in her that makes her into a saint candidate, I can't think of it. It can't be helped that elves are small. Besides, Natsume-kun is not a great difference now. I will grow up even more from now on, so it's okay. And, the one over there is the prince of this country, right? Who's inside? Natsume's glance turned towards me. Those eyes are like staring at a prey, there's a ferocious light dwelling in it. The dazzling light that seems to be going to attack me soon. Although this guy was certainly a nasty guy in the previous life, was he a guy who had such dangerous eyes? Yamada Shunsuke. Oshima Kanata. Long time no see. The me who answers briefly, and Katya who stepped forward unnaturally to appeal herself. Hey. Oshima-kun? That's right. Me, Oshima. Surprised, aren't you? I became a woman after getting reborn. Hasebe gets into Katya's introduction. The talk rises there, and Natsume's glance was averted from me. Thank you, Katya. At any rate, I must be cautious of Natsume whose current name is Yago van Rengsand. Chapter 86 Dance of Victory. There are multiple choices of evolution. Please choose from the following. Poison Terratect. Zoa Air. Ah, evolution. Evolution. Isn't it early? Although I thought about this at the monkey's case, isn't it early this time? Well, I can evolve later. Anyway, now, I want to taste this excitement. I won. Iafui. I won. I won against such a strong eel. Isn't it incredible? Aren't I very strong? I hardly use my threads, and I won in a direct fight, you know? I won't let you say that I'm weak anymore. I'm strong. Hiya. The eel was a formidable enemy. It was certainly a formidable enemy. It was a mortal combat. But, the one who won is me. I'm number one. Crap. The excitement still haven't settled down. After all, it's a drake, you know. It's different from the fake drakes like seahorse and catfish so far. It's a fully fledged drake like drake, you know. And, I defeated it directly, one-on-one, fair and square, you know. This me. The excitement returns. Please wait for a while. I got too excited and lose my breath. Phew. Well then, let's stop being excited here, and think what to do after this. First of all, my level rose a lot all at once. As expected from the eel. The drake species is not just for show. If only the status was seen, it's overwhelming, and there's also the effect of pride, so I can understand that my level rose a lot all at once. My skill also rose considerably in this battle, so it's quite delicious in experience points. However, to be honest, I leave my winning rate to my fate. Actually, if I made a mistake even a step or a move, I would have become cinders about this time. The eel was a formidable enemy to that extent. I mean, if you see its genuine status, there are no elements that I can win. Same as the monkey's case, aren't I fighting to the very limit too much? I'm happy that automatic HP recovery and fire resistance rose. Up until now, the automatic recovery offsets the terrain damage, but the damage should be surpassed a little by level up. I can't confirm it now because I just recover completely by level up. With this, if it's a little damage, it should recover over time. Although I have put a considerably severe condition that I must not receive any damage, it seems that I can ease a little from now on. Well, but still, it doesn't change the fact that I will die if I receive a direct hit. And, I became level 10. Now that I became level 10, it's possible to evolve. But, what should I do? Is it fine to evolve here? Because evolution is accompanied by danger. First of all, while evolving, I completely lose my consciousness. Because I will become completely defenseless during that time. If other monster attacks me, I can't do anything. Last time and the time before last, because I evolved inside the nest, safety was secured, but it won't go like that this time. At any rate, my thread can't be used. If I make a nest in this place covered with magma, it will blaze up while I'm making it. Evolve in the fire. Impossible, impossible. That's not all. Because energy is used to evolve when evolving, my MP and SP will be emptied. Although my MP is still fine, when my SP become empty, it might be impossible to act because of the hunger. Worst case, death from starvation. Because there's a large amount of food when I evolve so far, I managed to do something about it right after evolving, but there's no such emergency stores this time. Well, although there's this eel, it probably won't recover my SP completely even with its large build. Although I don't have to worry about starvation, I think it's necessary to hunt for prey for a while. But what will happen to the overeating skills stockpile? Up until now, during my evolution, I don't have my overeating skills stockpile. Although it decreased reasonably by the fight with the eel, still, it has an excellent amount remains. If I use this stockpile's energy to evolve, it might not be fully drained. But, shouldn't I move by wishful thinking? Although I want to evolve, when thinking about the safety here, isn't it better that I don't evolve? I thought about this before, but I'm also uneasy wondering whether the level will rise as it is or not. Or maybe small stops at level 10. If that's the case, then all the experience points gained will be in vain because the middle layer capture still continues. As expected, I don't want that. When thinking so, it's better to evolve. For the time being, there are multiple choices of evolution, so let's check it with appraisal. Thus, please, appraisal Sama. Evolution possible poison Terratect or Zoair. Leaving aside poison Terratect, what's this Zoair? It's not even Terratect. Zoair evolution condition small spider type monster that has status more than the standard value, and the assassin title explanation the small spider type monster that's feared as the symbol of sinister. It has high combat ability and stealth nature. Appraisal Sama. The evolution condition is added in it. As expected from appraisal Sama. No blunders at all. Fumu. In other words, it became possible to evolve to it because my status is higher than the condition. That means my status was lower than the condition before. I mean, title is related to evolution. Perhaps, I was able to evolve to poison because I have the poison technique user title. The possibility is high. Chapter 87 I'm going to evolve. Part 3. Poison Terratect evolution condition small poison Terratect LV10 explanation the rare species adult of the spider type monster called the Terratect. It has very powerful poison. I appraise the poison Terratect too. But, if I were to evolve, it would be the other one. Zoair. It has strict conditions to evolve and above all, from what appraisal Sama said, it seems to have a high combat ability. It's also small. Guessing from the name and the explanation, I feel uneasy that I will evolve into a different species from the Terratect species. If I evolve as the Terratect species, it's certain that I will become stronger. After all, I have witnessed the evolution form with my eyes. My mother witch is the super huge spider. The greater Terratect witnessed in the lower layer. Although it's unimaginable from the weak me, I understand that I will reach that area if I keep evolving. Although I understand, I will get bigger if I evolve into it. Although it's said that better too big than too small, I think that miniaturization is the mainstream. Small but highly efficient. I will aim at that. If I get bigger, it's harder to move. How big is the space needed for my mother to act properly? I would like to avoid that I can't pass through the passage that I was able to pass suddenly. Try get bigger in this place covered with magma. I can picture that I will miss my step carelessly in a thin passage. It won't be pond splash, but it will be magma splash. I will die. Although I don't know how big I will become when I turn into an adult, in my case, the demerit is big if I grow bigger. It's not only that it will become impossible to pass through passages, but also in the significance of combat. After all, I'm specialized in evasion. If it's big, the target will also be big. If I'm specialized in evasion, then being small is better. Besides, becoming bigger means that I will gain weight. My movement will become slower if I'm heavy. You want me who has speed as life to become slower? No way. Thus, I don't want to evolve into the Terratect species. When there's another species that appeared there, of course I would want to choose that. It doesn't mean that I don't have worries. Although it's certain that the evolution of the pterodactyl species is strong, the Zoa Air evolution is not necessarily strong. Worst case, the evolution of Zoa Air stops at there. In that case, it might be better to work hard to become stronger as the pterodactyl species. Well, if that happens, it can't be helped. Status can be improved by level up, and it's possible to improve it by training. Even a weak monster will surely become strong someday if it's raised with love. Like me. No, really, when comparing it with my beginning status, I have become quite strong. When I experienced the weakness of me who can die with a strike at the beginning, I think I can somehow do something about most adversities. Thus, let's evolve into Zoa Air. The problem is how to evolve safely, but I have thought about the countermeasures. Although there's still uneasiness when you ask whether it's safe or not, it's better than nothing. Thus, come on Eel's Corpse San. Today's 3-minute setting. The thing prepared here is the eel's corpse. It's the finest quality. First of all, this is extended. Next, round it from the tail. Be careful to roll the coil beautifully. This time, it's important to leave some space at the center. When the circle is drawn, make sure to pile the eel's body up. And on top of it, roll the coil again. Don't do it from the outside. Work from the inside of the coil. This is repeated, and it will be completed when the head is placed on the center. The completion of the eel shelter. Yuwa, it's made well. Yosh. The eel must be very hard because it has dragon scale. It won't be damaged by just a scratch, so I can expect from it even though it's not as good as my nest. If it's here, it shouldn't be a problem to evolve. Let's steel myself and go. Individual small poison pterodactyl evolves into Zoa Air. Yes. And, suddenly, my consciousness get distant. Evolution completed. Became the Zoa Air species. Every basic ability rose. Level up bonus skill proficiency was acquired. Skill proficiency reached. Skill MP recovery speed LV3 has become MP recovery speed LV4. Skill proficiency reached. Skill enhanced destruction LV1 has become enhanced destruction LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill enhanced slashing LV1 has become enhanced slashing LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill enhanced poison LV3 has become enhanced poison LV4. Skill proficiency reached. Skill fighting spirit LV1 has become fighting spirit LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill poison synthesis LV7 has become poison synthesis LV8. Skill proficiency reached. Skill spider thread LV9 has become spider thread LV10. Conditions met. Skill spider thread LV10 has evolved into skill universal thread LV1. Severing thread LV6 has unified with universal thread LV1. Skill proficiency reached. Skill shadow magic LV2 has become shadow magic LV3. Skill proficiency reached. Skill poison magic LV2 has become poison magic LV3. Skill proficiency reached. Skill destruction resistance LV1 has become destruction resistance LV2. Skill proficiency reached. Skill paralysis resistance LV3 has become paralysis resistance LV4. Skill proficiency reached. Skill feint resistance LV2 has become feint resistance LV3. Skill proficiency reached. Skill enhanced touch LV6 has become enhanced touch LV7. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Herculean strength LV3 has become Herculean strength LV4. Skill proficiency reached. Skill solid LV3 has become solid LV4. Skill proficiency reached. Skill protection LV3 has become protection LV4. Skill proficiency reached. Skill taboo LV4 has become taboo LV5. Acquired skill corrosion attack LV1 by evolution. Acquired skill enhanced slashing LV1 by evolution. Enhanced slashing LV1 has unified with enhanced slashing LV2. Acquired skill stealth LV1 by evolution. Stealth LV1 has unified with stealth LV7. Acquired skill silent LV1 by evolution. Skill points gained. Chapter 88 Zoa Air. Good morning. Though I don't know whether it's morning or not, I was able to wake up safely this time. Thank God. The evolution this time might have been the most dangerous one ever. It's good that I didn't ascend to heaven when I realized it. Not heaven, but hell. There's no way that I who's a girl of great rectitude will fall into the hell. Well then, for the time being, I want to appraise my status as usual, but first of all, I must confirm the safety here. It doesn't seem that the eel shelter had any changes, but it's possible that I'm surrounded by monsters. Then, let's peep the outside quietly. On. Nothing in particular. Yosh yosh. Then, while eating the eel, I can't do that. Similar to the snake's case, I need to peel its scales off first in order to eat it. Sheet. Well, fine. I don't feel hungry to the extent that I can't act, so is it because overeating did its job? Let's confirm my status while peeling the scales off. Zoa Air LV1 no name. Status. HP 195/195 green. MP 1/291 blue. SP 195/195 yellow. 195/195 red plus 43. Average offensive ability 251. Average defensive ability 251. Average magic ability 245. Average resistance ability 280. Average speed ability 1272. Skill. Automatic HP recovery LV6 MP recovery speed LV4 MP consumption down LV3 SP recovery speed LV3 SP consumption down LV3 enhanced destruction LV2 enhanced slashing LV2 enhanced poison LV4 fighting spirit LV2 vitality granting LV2 deadly poison attack LV3 corrosion attack LV1 poison synthesis LV8 thread talent LV3 universal thread LV1 thread manipulation LV8 throw LV7 3D maneuver LV5 concentration LV10 thought acceleration LV3 foresight LV3 parallel thought LV5 calculation processing LV7 accuracy LV8 evasion LV7 appraisal LV9 detection LV6 stealth LV7 silent LV1 hell heresy magic LV3 shadow magic LV3 poison magic LV3 abyss magic LV10 pride overeating LV8 night vision LV10 visible range expansion LV2 destruction resistance LV2 blow resistance LV2 slash resistance LV3 fire resistance LV2 deadly poison resistance LV2 paralysis resistance LV4 petrifaction resistance LV3 acid resistance LV4 corrosion resistance LV3 faint resistance LV3 fear resistance LV7 heresy resistance LV3 pain nullity pain alleviation LV7 enhanced vision LV9 enhanced hearing LV8 enhanced smell LV7 enhanced taste LV7 enhanced touch LV7 life LV9 magic amount LV8 agility LV9 endurance LV9 Herculean strength LV4 solid LV4 protection LV4 Idaten LV3 taboo LV5 and percent I equals W. Skill points 500. Title. Gross feeder blood relative eater assassin monster killer poison technique user thread user merciless monster slaughterer ruler of pride. Ha. Wait. See it once again properly. My eyes might have rotted. I look at the numerical value of my status. Properly. Ha. Hi. EEHHH. Wah. It increased greatly. It increased greatly. This, seriously. Did it really increase this much? Oh. The combat ability is high was really true. Hey, is this really okay? Is it okay for me to be this strong? I will get carried away if I become this strong, you know. Is it okay? It's okay, right? Phew fufu. My heyday is here. The poor numerical value of my status up until now was settled instantly. Although it's low when it's compared with the eel, I have become strong to the extent that I won't die with just a poke from a small fry. Up until now, my state was receive attack equals death. But, with this, I have finally attained a pretty good status. Coo. Skill level also rose considerably. Good. What, taboo rose? Oh. Level 5. That means, another half to max. This, if my expectation is correct, I think that something might happen when it becomes level 10. Crap. Well, there's still half. It's still safe, it should be. Next, there are new skills added. Corrosion attack, seriously? Corrosion is that corrosion, right? When I appraise it, it was that corrosion that's more dangerous than my expectations, right? Can I use that? I'm so amazing. The another new skill is silent. Although I can expect its effect somehow, let's appraise it just in case. Silent generation of sound is suppressed. On. As expected. I did it. My ninja level increased. My ambush can only be used once from now on, I wonder. And, I'm very interested in a skill. Spider thread and severing thread disappeared, and the universal thread skill is newly added. Perhaps, it's the spider thread evolution, but where did severing thread go? Universal thread customizable thread is created. Customize field viscosity, elasticity, resilience, texture, strength, size, attribute endowment / blow shock etc. resistance endowment. The attribute endowment is added in it. Apparently, slash has the same effect as severing thread, blow is blow attribute, and shock is shock attribute can be endowed to my thread. Blow is like striking. The shock seems to make my thread to generate shock wave for a moment. If someone touches the thread in that state, the person will receive damage from the shock. This will be extremely useful if it's not the middle layer. I want to get out from the middle layer and use it. When I was confirming my status, the scale peeling finished. Yosh, then, let's taste the eel. Itadakamasu. Delicious. A different flavor from the catfish. I'll say it again. Delicious. My SB was not exhausted in this evolution. My stockpile of overeating decreased completely instead. It's the evidence that overeating did a good job. If that's the case, then I don't need to save up food at each evolution because I can just stockpile it in overeating. Therefore, I will eat a lot and increase my stockpile. If I count backwards from the previous numerical value, it's possible to stockpile up to about skill level times 100, so it's possible to stockpile up to about 800 now. Skill proficiency reached. Skill overeating LV8 has become overeating LV9. Level up came as soon as I said it. With this, the amount that can be stockpiled has increased even more. Chapter 89 Changes due to evolution. Speaking of what changed in my status, my skill points increased extremely. Even though it should increase by 20 per level, it increased by 280 from the last time I saw it. Assuming that 60 are from 3 level ups, where did the remaining 220 come from? Is there a bonus when evolving? Then, I'm convinced that the calculation of the skill points doesn't match. Well, if you give, then I will take it. There are 500, so good skills might be found. Let's look at the acquirable skill list carefully later. There's something that caught my eyes now. Although I noticed it since the time when I'm peeling the eel's scale off, my body shape has somewhat changed. My 2 forefeet that were sharp claws became the shape of thin sickles. Besides, this sickle is incredibly sharp. The scale peeling that I had a hard time during the snake's case ended in a short time. Although I can't cut the scales, I can cut quickly between the scale and the skin. Is it because of my offensive ability that rose? Or is it because this sickle is sharp? In addition, my body color blackened. Although I was blackish, I'm completely black now. The black that doesn't reflect light at all. It's black, pitch black. Although it's impossible to confirm my whole body because there's no mirror, I think that these are the great changes. I don't feel that there's any changes in my size. But, perhaps, I'm not conscious of it that many small parts changed. Up until now, I was the Pterodactyl species, so my appearance didn't change even though I evolved. But, my species changed in this evolution. If I compare it, I think that there are surely some differences in some parts. It's inconvenient that there's no mirror at such time. I can't even confirm my appearance. Well, at present, there's no uncomfortable feeling when moving. It doesn't seem that my overall parts have changed, so it seems that I can move the same as always. Before I evolve, I have never thought about body changes. I felt relieved because I didn't change much. However, this sickle is different. How should I say it? A sound seems to be heard if I take a stance. I mean, this sickle, no matter how I think, it's imaged from the god of death Shinigami. The explanation stated that it's the symbol of sinister and it has corrosion attack, so it should be like that. Although it doesn't change that it's the ninja style, it seems to become the god of death style. Let's confirm the skills that leveled up. I'm happy that Herculean strength and solid rose. With this, the growth correction increases again. Although my status has strengthened considerably, still, it's fairly low if the opponent is like the eel. The others, poison synthesis, poison magic and shadow magic also leveled up. Because magic can't be used, I leave it, so let's examine poison synthesis to see what's added in it. Attribute endowment paralysis attribute is added. What? This? I might have obtained an outrageous thing. Poison synthesis that played an active part in the middle layer has evolved further. I must try this immediately. Thus, I try to add paralysis attribute to the deadly spider poison. Let's try how effective it is at the next chance without rushing. But, most opponents will die immediately if it's the deadly spider poison. Here, I should add paralysis attribute to weak poison, okay. Let's strike this weak poison added with paralysis attribute to my next opponent. I'm looking forward to it. Let's appraise the newly added one in shadow magic and poison magic just in case. Poison resist boosts the poison resistance temporarily. A magic that boosts my poison resistance. It's unnecessary for me. I mean, a person who uses poison, won't most of them have high poison resistance? Isn't this magic not needed? Either way, I can't use it. Ah, wait. This is this. Something that's used on comrades? If a person used this magic on all comrades when the opponent is a poison user, then it should make the fight advantageous. Ah. Because I was a loner, I never thought of such thing. If that's the case, then it's a magic that can be used normally. I mean, this magic becomes a trump card according to the opponent. I see. Well, either way, it's unrelated to me. Huh. But, wait for a moment. Is it really impossible for me to use magic? The level of parallel thought and calculation processing rose considerably. Isn't it that I can use detection anytime now? Let's try it after a long time. Ha. Yash. Detection, on. Gua. Engu gu gu gu. Ku. Skill proficiency reached. Skill calculation processing LV7 has become calculation processing LV8. Skill proficiency reached. Skill parallel thought LV5 has become parallel thought LV6. Skill proficiency reached. Skill detection LV6 has become detection LV7. Skill proficiency reached. Skill heresy resistance LV3 has become heresy resistance LV4. Off. Phew. It was hard. But, I can endure it better than last time. Because enduring is the best I can do, I have advanced forward. That means, I'm not going the wrong way. Although it's still far from mastering it, a little hope comes into view. Chapter 90 Patience. I'm exploring aimlessly in the middle layer. My stomach became full after eating the eel, so it doesn't seem that I need to worry about collapsing because of hunger. It doesn't seem that I need to hunt assertively at this rate, so I will advance at leisure. My mood is also good, so I can forgive the heat of the middle layer now. Ah, as expected, this heat is too much. There are no monsters in the surroundings, so let's confirm my skill points. My skill points increased to 500 points in this evolution, so I might find a good skill. All of the skills except detection are big hits, so it would be good to acquire a good skill in this flow. Pride is somewhat vague and the only disadvantage is that the level of taboo rose at present. It doesn't seem that I can do something about taboo immediately, and when thinking so, is it a substantial disadvantage? When thinking about the absurdly high effect, the advantage exceeds the disadvantage as revenue and expenditure. It's a mystery that this skill can be acquired with just 100 skill points. Just by seeing its effect, I can understand even if it needs 1000 points. Although finding non-standard skills like pride might be aiming too high, let's acquire skills that seem to be good. It's no use to collect too many points. Such thing have value when it's used. Saving up from here even more to acquire the higher skills seems to be bad in efficiency. Thus, appraisal Sama, please do it. Double appraise the skill point. I looked at the list that appeared. On. When seeing like this, there are still a lot of skills that can be acquired with 100 points. Although most of them are useless, let's raise the skill proficiency thoroughly if I'm free next time. But, it's better to raise skill proficiency of the more useful skill if I have such time. Ah, but, there might be a skill that becomes useful after it evolves like prediction. On. I'm hesitating. Now's not the time for that. I need to see the skills that can be acquired with more than 200 points. On. As expected, there's no skill of the pride class. I did somewhat expect a little for it. Well, of course I will. I thought I was going to said that. It's there. Broken skill. Patience 500% power capable of reaching the gods. Own divinity area is. Expand it. As long as you have MP, no matter what kind of damage is received, you will survive with HP 1. In addition, the W system is surpassed and the right to interfere with the Ma area is obtained. There's a mysterious skill fully loaded of mysterious language again. And, there's a ability like a joke. This activates when I receive damage by consuming MP. I don't know how's the MP consumption, but does it means that I can do a zombie attack as long as I still have MP? I don't understand. What's with that nasty ability? This time, I don't hesitate. With a click. Currently you have 500 skill points. The skill patience can be acquired by spending 500 skill points. Do you want to acquire it? Yes. Patience was acquired. Remaining skill point 0. I, who have acquired pride, don't have the word retreat in me any longer. I will acquire all of these skills. Be it taboo or whatever it is, come at me. Skill proficiency reached. Skill Taboo LV5 has become Taboo LV7. I'm sorry. After all, it's better if you don't come. Conditions met. Title Ruler of Patience was acquired. By the effects of the title Ruler of Patience, skill Heresy Nullity Conviction was acquired. Heresy Resistance LV4 has unified with Heresy Nullity. As expected, Taboo rose. This time is also 2. Well, it can't be helped. Apart from that, the important one is the title. I can't stay like this. Let's confirm the title immediately. Ruler of Patience Acquisition Skill Heresy Nullity Conviction Acquisition Condition Acquisition of Patience Effect Every ability of defense and resistance rise. Opening of Evil Eye Type Skill. A+ correction whenever resistance type skill proficiency gained. The Ruler class privilege is acquired. Explanation: the title presented to those who rule Patience. It's just as expected. As expected, it's a cheat class title. My defense and resistance increased. Both increased by 100, my defense rose to 351 and my resistance rose to 380. Really, what's this? Isn't it a little too cheap? It's also great that the skill proficiency of the resistance type skills becomes easier to raise. Because I'm specialized in evasion, I don't receive attacks easily, so my resistance type skill don't rise much. It compensates my weak place, so it's considerably good. And I'm bothered by the opening of the Evil Eye type skill. I want this. If I acquire something of the Evil Eye, I can say something like "Ku, my right eye throbs," or "This is what it means to kill something." It's really the word that titillates the Shayunabiu. I want to acquire it, but I don't have skill points anymore. I must quickly level up and save up my skill points. There are also the newly added skills, Heresy Nullity and Conviction. Heresy Nullity seems to be the highest rank of Heresy Resistance. Heresy Resistance has the effect that increases defensive ability against attack that violates the soul directly, while Heresy Nullity completely nullifies that. With this, even if an enemy who uses Heresy magic attacks me, I don't have to worry. Conviction: deal damage that can't be resisted proportional to the cumulative total value of crimes against those who accumulate crimes within the system in the soul. Wow. In other words, it's an attack that the damage becomes higher if the opponent commit more crimes. It's scary that it says can't be resisted. But this has the same sense as hell. It doesn't seem that I can use it. Although I tried it, just as I thought, it can't be used. Although it might be a misfire because there's no target, there's a conviction that it can't be used. Well, even a conviction can't be used, it's still an outrageous advantage. Although Taboo rose, I have no choice but to let nature take its course. As long as I won't die suddenly when Taboo reaches level 10, I will accept that disadvantage. Nevertheless, my status increased a lot and my skills improved. Aren't I the strongest?